Hello, everybody. Welcome on in to session number 4 of RLPD.
Number 4.
The 4th session. They grow up so fast.
You know what's surprising? The fact that we've actually been able to organise 4 D&D games in a row.
Right? Week after week with no dropouts.
Amazing.
I think we're in a hot streak here.
Don't jinx it.
Well, now that you guys have said it, it's all jinxed.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, sorry. Just so you guys know, I can't actually stream tonight, so have fun.
How are
If
you
this was
guys?
our RL campaign, it would be 4 years ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. We'd be done with our IRL
Yeah,
campaign.
we would be finished.
Yep. It's pretty impressive so far. I'm proud of us. We've done good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Head out.
That's it for the
Yeah.
evening. Thank you.
Quick while we're ahead.
As always, I am your humble DM and host for tonight, Kai. Joining me is my spectacular party. We have got Beck, Lachlan, Reese, and Chris. Our wonderful RLPD constables.
Baby.
Constables,
On the beat.
huh?
Yeah, did we get promoted? Is that...
I don't know.
Yeah.
What's the lowest rank in the police force?
Janitor.
yeah. Unemployed.
Yeah. Criminal, probably, in the cells.
Prisoner. And then you work your way from prisoner to rookie.
Yeah.
Assistant police officer. Police officer's the lowest.
Stormo carrying the chat. The real MVP in chat.
Yeah. Australia apparently is police recruit, then constable.
Oh.
Alright.
Recruit, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm
That makes
looking at
sense, right?
American police.
I feel like you guys didn't have enough. There's not enough staff at the Illabar Watch House to start you guys at the bottom. You immediately are like a rung up because there's just such staffing problems.
Imposter syndrome.
You know what? Just take the new guys and put them straight into the interrogation. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to speak.
Give them all badges. Get them in there. Like,
Make it happen.
it's like that scene in an action movie where they're just like it's a small town and they've got to deputize everyone in the town.
Yeah.
And they're just like handing out badges to everyone. He was like, you're a cop,
deputy.
you're a cop, you're a cop.
deputy.
Yeah.
Everyone's a deputy.
It's like a back being cowboys, and it's like, I deputize you, and you have the permission to kill people. Cool, thanks. You're an upstanding citizen.
Come to think of it,
All right.
most D&D campaigns I've played has resulted in the players being deputized and then waving the badge constantly,
Yes.
regardless of whether or not it
Authority.
carries any weight where they are.
Right, that's literally my first D&D campaign I ever played. We all became deputies, and one of the players was playing a dwarf, and the running joke was he would just get useless promotions. So he'd get promoted, but it'd be really dumb promotions. So he became, like, by the end of it, he was like, double deputy boulder deep dash.
Oh my god. Dale Dog Dimmadome.
The double-
whatever.
Double deputy dig dog. Yeah, I can't remember.
Oh, God.
I can't remember where. Lachlan, Chris, you guys might remember the other campaign that I'm running for you guys in person. You guys are deputies of somewhere, I think, but I don't know. I can't remember where you guys got deputized.
Yeah. Oh, God,
Deputies
where
of
is it?
hell.
I just remember you guys flashing deputy badges in a city that had never even heard of the town that you had been deputized in.
It was where the beast had run amok, right? We were given deputy status so we could investigate.
Yeah, that's
What was that called?
carrying hell.
Epistat. Oh, Carrie Hill.
Assistant to the assistant deputy.
The assistant deputy.
Was that the same location where Sean went on trial for us, and we all sat in the
Yeah.
sat in the courtroom just as like
Oh, sorry,
attendees.
Chris.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
and we just sat there, and it was like a whole session, like a good
court.
5 hours of D&D where only one of our party members actually did anything, and we all sat there and watched and hoped that he would do a good job.
I mean,
I think
And
that
it
the
was
first
very
time
entertaining.
he did it in the end.
We
He did a good
learned
job.
that if you were a DM, sometimes you should just forego the role, because Sean gave this huge spiel. He had insurmountable evidence that the beast was innocent and that he was framed, and that everyone in the courtroom should see for the main villain for who he truly was. And Kye goes, "All right, roll diplomacy, and with advantage or whatever." He fucking rolls a nat 1, and Kye has to make everyone disbelieve him for some reason. Them's the rules.
Because he's a damn liar, that's why.
Yeah, right. So we were just like, okay, maybe huge role-playing moments should just, not use a dice from now on.
Also, what was the It was the Burning Man, right? And it was
it was the punishing man.
the Punishing Man.
The Burning Man.
There was this thing called the Punishing Man, and it was basically Burning Man. And I was like, oh, cool, it was Burning Man.
Yeah.
And then we all forgot what the actual campaign's description for this thing was, because it just became the Burning Man
This
as
is
opposed to
the
the
Carrying
Punishing
Crown
Man.
adventure path for Pathfinder First Edition that we're playing. And yeah, it's like the second or third adventure. They're in a town and have to do this big court battle and stuff. But they bring out the Punishing Man, which is this big straw man that they set on fire as like a symbolic thing. But we all just started calling it Burning Man. And then the party was going to court at Burning Man.
Yeah.
The bees, they're in my eyes.
And then we all
like Wicker Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was saying, yes, it's the Burning Man. God damn it. No, the Punishing Man.
Yeah.
Legally distinct Burning Man.
Yeah.
You had a pretty hard time dealing with us children during that campaign.
Mm.
Every door was ajar.
I started to describe
The houses were stitched together. Everyone had a closed fish economy. These are all great in-jokes.
I can't.
The closed fish economy.
I have to be very careful not to describe doors as a jar anymore. And when you're describing a room and say on the far side of the room is a door that's ajar, sounds a lot better than on the far side of the room is a door that's slightly open. But every time I say the door is ajar, fucking Chris, fucking Lachlan, fucking Sean goes, "Oh, but where's the door then if it's ajar?"
Gets him every time. That's a great
Every single time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
and one of
the
our
window
other
is ajar. It's like, was it a window or is it a jar? What is it, man?
I've had to change
Everywhere,
my
like-
vocabulary.
One of our other players is a cleric who has shatter, and it's like, can I shatter the door? No, why not? It's a jar, right? No, it's made of wood. Yeah, but you just said it was a jar.
They have wooden jars? I don't understand.
Stuff.
Oh.
Brings a tear to my
Worst.
eye every time.
The
Bro, I
absolute
just
worst.
love. Is he on the horse? Is he not on the horse?
Oh, that's a
That's-
timeless classic.
Oh.
That's like the
That's
gazebo.
That's the only thing I know from your D&D stuff that I reference to this day.
Yeah.
Is he
You
on the horse?
kid?
No, I'm not on the horse. Well, you're back at the town. That's where you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
have to
it's like
coin it
before we
as
go
like
into
an
this
idiom.
encounter, before we got on this encounter, it's like, did you get off the horse? Did you enter this encounter? Because if you did, then you can have your sword drawn and be ready for the encounter. If you didn't get off the horse, then you're still back on the horse, back at the tree line. It's like,
back like 2 towns away.
Yeah. well, I guess I did get off my horse. It's
How are
like,
you back?
well, then you're
That's
gonna
all
miss your
welcome
turn.
Just having our pre-game bants.
Yeah.
Ah.
Feel free to jump in with in-jokes from your own campaigns.
Yep.
Yeah.
With
But, I mean, I must
explanations,
say,
of
like,
course.
Throw your axe is also another major one.
So
Where-
we were talking about that, and then we
Like-
realised we should have been talking about it live. We had a friend
we
run
should've.
a Dragon Age campaign, which has got its own system and everything. But Sean, who you guys have seen on the channel, it was one of his first proper role-playing experiences. Yo, moron, welcome on in. And we got into like the first encounter, and we're sneaking around listening to these people do this shady drug deal in some ruins. And Sean is
No,
like,
I thought it was in a cellar.
I thought it was like a like collapsed house or something. You might
It
be right.
was a very long
It's been a
time.
while ago. And he kicks in the door, and he's like, I kick in the door, and I yell, "Stop!" or something. And we're like, okay. So he yells, "Stop!" or something. Yeah. And he goes, yeah. And then I throw my axe. And he just throws his axe at the big bad, misses him completely, and then kicks off this massive fight, the rest of which he doesn't have his axe because it's on the far side of the room. And so now every time we take a moment, like, instead of saying, hang on, let's just slow down and take a moment to assess this situation, we just say, don't throw your axe.
Yeah, there's a good idiom.
Don't throw your axe. Take a second. Think about this. Oh, man.
Whoa, let's not throw any axes here.
I just love the description of, like, when Mitch was describing, it's like, you burst into the room and you say, stop! Or something. And then the big bad looks at you, and I think it was a female, actually, who was the big bad leader.
Yeah.
And she looks at you and she goes, what are you doing here? And then Sean throws the axe, and it's like, it goes sailing through the air, and then hits the ground and clatters in front of her. And everyone else in their party looks at you, and you have this slight moment of, oh, bother.
The rest of us were all, like, in stealth, hiding, not ready to jump in and help. Sean's just kicked in the door.
So funny.
Just almost 77. We were all playing together, and one of our players decides to investigate the brothel. Investigate. He goes and gets an entertainer. And they do stuff, all that goes down. We continue our stuff, and I think for a minute, and say, wait, he's a grung? He has poisonous skin? Fast forward, he's wanted for murder.
Oh, no.
Grung.
No.
I don't know what a grung
That
is.
is tragic.
I'm gonna Google that.
Bro, it's like when in one of our first campaigns, one of the players was playing a paladin.
Oh, they're like frogs.
And
frog folks.
and we were like, we got up to this. There was a hole in the ground that led to like a little water area, and we had to go down there and fight a shark or something. Or we had to traverse through it, whatever. And there's like sharks in the water, and we start getting attacked by the sharks, but the paladin stayed up the top, and he's like, don't worry lads, I'm coming to help. And he's like, I jump down the hole, and the DM stops and he goes, you're still wearing like full plate armor, right?
Oh no.
And he's like, yeah. And he's like, you know the drop's like 80 feet? Oh no. Alright, so you fall.
He's gonna
and then
sink like a rock.
You hit the water. And
That's like rule number one.
You've
Don't
knocked
drown
yourself
in the
out,
water.
and then you just and like every like turn, he just does a little scribble to indicate he goes further down. And I'm like got a shark attached to me because I'm playing a barbarian, right? So I got a shark attached to me, and I'm like, fuck.
Dude,
So I'm like,
is terrifying in role-playing games.
I'm fighting this shark, and then I'm like, alright, I'm gonna go grab my friend as well, because he's just knocked himself out.
Oh man, falling is like the worst. It's just like sets in some serious panic into your like party. We had one where we had a knight with us who was level 4 and we're all level 1, so we're just scrubs, and this guy is just coming along with us for the ride. And we open this door, and on the other side of the door is nothing. And this knight is wearing full plate armor. He's level 4. He's the best thing ever since sliced bread to happen with our party. And he's going over the edge. Like, this door swung open. He's going over the edge. And I'm like, I grab him. So I grab the knight and I go over with him. And we go splash into a cave inside, it was an underground cave. And I'm like, that's it. We're done for. We're going to die. But it was only like ankle deep. And so then we have to trudge across to get to the shoreline inside this cave. But man, my heart sank as soon as that he went over the edge. I'm like, that's it. Game over. We've lost this knight, and he's in full plate. He's gonna drown, and we'll never see him again.
Speaking of falling, I just enjoyed when I had a really high level barbarian in the long game that we played. He was like technically a Viking subclass in Pathfinder. Very cool. But I got to the point where I had enough hit points where I could statistically survive a fall at terminal velocity. If I fell and took max possible damage for falling, and like the DM rolled max possible damage, I would still survive. I was immune to gravity. So we were at a point where we were fighting a was it like a naga or something?
A naga,
on the
like
top
a
of a
snake
building?
lady, illusionist.
And she jumped off the building with featherfall, and I was like, okay, sprint towards the edge. I chucked my shield to someone and was like, hold this, jumped with my axe and just jumped off the building to attack her mid-air because I was like, even if I hit the ground, statistically I can't die.
It was fantastic. There was this moment, Kye, he's like falling with his axe wielded in both hands like Card Captor Sakura, and just fucking full crits this Naga, kills her midair, then falls and splats both of his knees buckle under his weight, and he like gives a thumbs up like Terminator.
The problem was
he's totally fine.
I was like, I'm gonna stab her with the axe, right? And then because she's got Featherfall, I'll just hold on to her. The problem was I killed her, so her Featherfall spell stopped. And so we both just fell and hit the ground. And we had to rule that because it is a bit silly to be like, I can just fall from maximum height and walk away. Like, it's fair enough that you're probably going to break some limbs. So I like broke both legs, landing in this like puddle of enemy.
It was so
and was
good.
like, hey guys, can you come down and fix my legs, please?
Yeah, we're like hurriedly coming down the spiral staircase one level at a time, and it takes us like 20 minutes to get back down to the arc at the bottom.
Yeah.
I love those meta moments where you're just like, well, this is how the rules work.
Yeah.
It's a bit dumb, but I can do it. Like,
I don't have a lot of stories myself, but what I do note, like, this is a book that I've used for D&D for like many years, so I just have quotes in here with
excellent.
zero context. Like, the first one in here is like, what's more in a list of angry gods? And I'm pretty sure it was like the one heathen we had in the party that was like, fuck them, I'll defy the gods, I don't give a shit.
Always a good point.
And then, you know, just like random little comments of what's happening in the story. So I've actually at one point asked, would you fuck your own shadow?
Go on.
I don't remember the
important questions. Important
questions. But yeah, it's just, I've just got like these random little quotes in here that I'm just like, what the fuck was going on here? Because I don't understand.
Out of context quotes are the best. I was saying before, we need to get like some sort of quote bot so that everyone watching at home can add quotes when they come up, because I'm sure we've all said some stupid stuff so far.
Oh, we have.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, my favourite was definitely from the first episode of Reese, saying, I'm not good at being bad. That was adorable.
Yeah.
Can I be the good cop? I'm not good at being bad.
I love that bit. It was so genuine.
Aww.
That's so Haydrig.
Yeah, just I'm not too good at being bad.
It's okay. You be a good cop. Okay.
Speaking of
It's my first day, and you're already asking me to do something.
Speaking of past sessions, do you guys reckon we should give a little recap of last session?
I reckon.
Yeah.
We should. Yeah.
Always a good
Who
idea.
wants to start? Because I don't want to do it. I do enough talking.
Wow.
Well, it's a good thing I take extensive notes when it comes to D&D. Because I could start.
Let's
think.
do it. Go for it, Beck. Take it away.
Okay. So again, this is why my notes don't work, because I have sativia equals weed, stevia equals not weed.
That did come up.
Oh.
All right. So I yoinked the key from Gabriel, completely emasculated him, because we ended our encounter with the scimitar bros that were just trying to smuggle crossbows into the city.
Yes, the Facilin smugglers.
Mm-hmm.
And so we finished out a small portion of the rest of our shift on the gate and encountered some lovely, lovely folk, such as a lady who sold sausages on bread. What was her name again? Her name was that's right, Bunny.
Yep.
So we had a bunny snag.
I'm so proud
we
of myself for that
also,
one.
yeah, that's quite
Yeah,
clever.
secondary business in hardware, no doubt.
I'm sure. Yeah, and always Lowe's prices, because she'll beat them by 10% if I find a better price. And then we also met a gentleman named Marin Bourgeois, who's a mad scientist who invented quotation marks magnets, Electricity is witchcraft. And again, this is why my notes are less helpful. Bourgeois jar kink ?
What jar kink?
Yeah, ? So I don't know what the
God.
context for that is, but
Don't let him near any doors. Am I right?
Oh. And then we met Bunny, and then we all got to leave. And I'm passing it off to somebody else.
Someone else pick it up.
So after we finished our watch at the front gate, we decided it was time to maybe head off and have a beer at the local tav, at the local Drinking Dicks.
Mm-hmm.
So we went there, and they had another Jar Jar Kinks. Jesus Christ! Sorry,
I just read that.
I'm gonna minimize chat while I fucking talk.
Ooh, Mr. Jar Jar Kinks.
I'm actually reading Stormo's message there more than I'm listening to Reese recap. So I hope he's getting
so
it right.
we went to Drinking Dicks, where we ran into Captain Jacinta, and she was very sad. That's what my notes say. Very sad.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a chat with her. We had a few drinks with her, and then I'll pass it on to someone else because that's where my notes end.
You don't start and end with drinks with the boss.
Klaus or me?
Okay. So we all reveled in our past and had some character bonding time. And then we left the bar, and we all decided that we were going to go home and call it a day. And we decided to part ways. Rosefina went her way, Klaus went his way, and Heidrig went his way. And then Chris went on an adventure that none of us actually saw or know anything about. So Chris, tell us what happened in your adventure.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude. It's nothing. That was you basically covered the end of the story for me. But we all
Chris went on to
had
play Sly Cooper.
yeah, exactly. Good games though. Fuck, I love those. Totally went to sleep, had a good night's rest. But in the morning, we were awoken by an alarm having been raised, and it was Sergeant Chaplin who was calling all the watch members to head down the street to a riot or some sort of outbreak within the kingdom's walls. And here we are now at the start of this session.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. The end of last game was you guys suiting up into your uniforms to head with Sergeant Chaplin down to whatever the source of this disturbance is that's causing a ruckus not far from the watch house.
A ruckus.
Cool. All right. Well, without further ado, I think I missed saying hi to Curve in chat, but hi Curve.
Hi, Curve.
We are going to cruise on over to our Table.
Over to the table.
Alamas.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Table? What's a table? Oh, a table.
Gaim?
I love that moment in Simpsons, but whenever I go to like type out, I'm like, how do you spell Gaim when it's just a mispronunciation of Jim? Like, you write Jim, the joke doesn't come across because it's just Jim. Right?
Some jokes don't translate.
Yeah, it really doesn't. Good luck in your Civ game, Stormo. I'm going to start our focused role-playing timer, and we will get back to you guys in chat very, very soon. So please enjoy session 4 of The Watch. Where's my button to start the timer? There it is. I found it. Stress.
Yay!
Great.
Worry was very worried.
The four of you, after hurriedly getting changed, I believe you all stashed your weapons. Is that right? With the exception of Rosie bringing her dagger?
Always a dagger in the boot. Always a dagger.
The boot dagger.
Always a boot dagger.
But everyone
Boot
else
dag.
was well behaved.
Hey, I think at this point it's called for, honestly.
Yeah, I believe we packed just our billies instead of our halberds and short swords and axes and that. Except for Rosafina, who is a fiend and decided she was going to take a dagger with her.
Yeah.
Fiend, huh?
I think it was pretty much established that we shouldn't rock up with our weapons because we're trying not to escalate things.
My knife is hidden, so y'all can keep your opinions to yourselves.
But we all saw it.
Yeah, and snitches get stitches, so...
Ooh,
Yikes.
lose business.
Ah!
Party's already fraying.
Yeah, already at each other's throats.
Sorry, Rosafina, I have to take you in.
As you guys fall in behind the sergeant as he begins trotting down the street, he calls over his shoulder at you. Did you catch any idea what's going on? Any guesses?
I pipe up and I say, "Sir, it sounds like there's a bit of tension between the humans and the gnomes of this part of the city."
Well, that's not news. This seems a bit much, though.
Maybe there's lots of gnomes.
I guess we won't know
Yep.
until we. I guess we won't know until we go find out, sir.
I mean, was there not gnomish chanting happening? They were like, "Hell no, we won't go," but like in gnomish or something.
Hell no, we won't go.
No more nothing.
Chanting, that can't be good. Alright, let's go. Double time. And he starts running down the street with the four of you behind him.
Double times just running.
Make my way downtown.
Okay.
Just full sprint.
Oh, God.
You guys push past quite a few people in the street that are either sort of casually glancing in the direction of the disturbance, or people that are either rushing away from it or in some cases rushing towards it. But looking at the uniforms, most people get out of your way if they see you coming. A few are shoved pretty rudely out of the way by the sergeant as he makes his way down the street. And before long, the four of you are met with a large crowd of people blocking the street ahead of you. The sergeant slows to a stop as you reach this wall of people. He looks around for a moment, can't sort of see into the crowd. You can see quite a few people standing at the back or on their tippy toes trying to look over the crowd to see what's going on. And there's a few gnomes towards the back trying to look between people's legs, sort of to get a view of what is drawing such a crowd. The sergeant takes a look around and his eyes fall on the balcony above and to your right. He says, "Alright, I'm going up there for a better look. The four of you see if you can get to the front of this crowd and see what's going on. Got it?"
I'm on it.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
on it, Sarge.
This looks
Certainly, sir.
This looks like it could boil over if we're not careful. Try not to escalate things, but don't take any crap.
Understood.
Alright.
All right.
And with that, he takes a right underneath the balcony that is to your right and begins moving towards the stairs.
Mhm.
If I move him over here. The four of you should be able to move your tokens, in theory.
Yeah, I can move mine.
Amazing.
Ah,
Beautiful.
they're all moving.
Oh my God.
Oh, you
Not
can.
fair.
How did you rotate?
There's a very light blue
there's a
stick
pin
hanging
on
out the top of your head.
Ah, hey.
Drig. Yep.
I throw my chat.
Hey,
back.
Twig.
All right, guys. What are we doing? What's
We should, like I just said, let's try and push through the front. Let's try and push through this crowd straight ahead.
all right?
And I'm gonna make my way and try and squeeze on through, like through the mosh pit.
Hi.
Yes.
This little railing we see here, is it very tall off the ground? Because I'm assuming it's some sort of fence.
Can you if you click and hold on the map, it should ping what you're talking about.
Here.
All right. Yeah, that's a fairly low. It's really just a divider to keep the carts and things from rolling into the front of that shop. So, because it's located like on the corner, as carts come around the corner, it's to stop running over that shopkeep's merchandise. So it's a sort of, I'd say, roughly 2 foot tall wooden fence there.
Is this fine, gentle species very tall?
You're probably about 6 foot. You'd say.
Alrighty. I attempt to climb up him and vault over the top of the crowd.
Climb up him.
Just
Shadow of the Colossus.
parkour over the poor person.
Excuse me. Excuse me. I need to use your person.
Do you say anything
Just
to this
I'm
person
pouring
or
your
just
person right
start
now.
climbing?
I'm like, I'm sorry, sir. I must climb over you in the name of the law.
Give me a acrobatics, I suppose, to try and clamber up this person.
That's a fair call. Alrighty.
It's like when police officers need to steal people's cars to get people running away.
So I have rolled a, hang on, get back to chat, 13 on that one.
13. That is not bad. You start. You announce yourself. This person, excuse me, I need to climb over you in the name of the law. And they don't seem to look around. Whatever's happening in front is far more interesting, or they're distracted. But you don't wait for any acknowledgement and just sort of grab on to the back of their cloak and start trying to pull yourself up. And you get about halfway up their back before they seem to realise someone is climbing them. And they attempt to shove you off, which will do a like a grapple check, I suppose, to work that out.
So what if
Which-
in 5th ed there's no such thing as grappling?
So there is grappling.
Okay.
But it's not applicable to this. I guess you
Okay.
could use their athletics against the acrobatics.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Let's do that. They are just a
Oh no.
well. It's a 16 on the dice. I was going to say they don't have any bonuses because they're just a regular old commoner, but they are quite a bit taller than you as well, Rosie. And realizing that there's someone climbing up their back, they sort of shake their back and try to start pulling you off. They don't knock you all the way to the ground, but you're struggling to get any higher up this person's back now.
Damn it.
True.
The three of you who are less vertically challenged, what's your plan for this crowd?
Well, I've seen Klaus start to push through, so I'm like, alright, well, we're pushing through then. Start just... Excuse me, sir. Pardon me, ma'am.
Excuse me.
Official
Bowling
police
them over.
business.
In
Just-
the name of the law.
Please make way, make way. And
So-
start
You ever
pushing people out of the way, make
You ever seen a
squeezing
big
through.
guy trying to make his way through a mosh pit at a concert? That's me. Just like, I'm gonna get through. I don't care who you're here to
Alright.
see.
So you guys are both going the brute force approach. Give me 2 strength, or a strength check each, as you just begin manhandling people out of the way.
Just straight up strength.
Yep, just a strength check. 8 from Hadric.
Hey.
A natural 20 from Klaus.
There it is.
Hadric, you are maybe a little bit too polite for your own good. There's a lot of, excuse me, can I just, and you start to shove people, but as soon as they shove back, you kind of, okay, let me just try over here, and start trying to shimmy your way through the crowd. Klaus, on
Sorry,
the
my
other hand,
friend's over there.
with
Excuse me, I just need to get through. Please.
Excuse me, please.
with his low center of gravity, just starts walking forwards and just doesn't stop walking forwards, and parts the people in front of him with no effort, no apparent effort at all, and quickly starts making his way to the front of the crowd. Gabriel?
I'm going to sit back and I'm just going to represent authority like back here and keep an eye on Rosie, and also sort of watch for any rabble that might arise for the frontier too.
Okay, no worries. Is there any particular position you want to be in to look at the crowd, or are you just happy standing or sort of hovering around the back?
Yeah, maybe I'll inch over here, but so
you kind of edge your way, not really towards the center of the crowd, but just where you think you've got a good view of everybody at the back, just in case anyone tries any funny business.
Funny business.
Rosie,
funny business.
Are you continuing your parkour?
I do see in this moment it's probably a little bit silly, so instead I opt to hop down and instead weave my way through the legs of the crowd standing around.
Okay, no worries.
Over did not work, so under is the next best thing.
Can't go over it.
Yeah, Klaus has gone through it.
Sure.
I have to keep relocating my cat because he won't stop jumping up on my desk to sit on my keyboard.
Oh, Gary.
I will get you to give me, please. What's the one that I am looking for here? Give me an acrobatics to weave your way through the crowd. That's kind of a dexterous.
21.
21 is very, very good. Making your way back down to the ground, you quickly plot a course between the sea of legs you see in front of you and nimbly make your way to the front of the crowd at about the same time that Klaus is just shoulder charging his way through.
Excellent.
Cool. Hadric?
Yep.
If you can sort of see as Klaus has charged ahead, he's kind of left a bit of a wake behind him that you think you could maybe utilise to make things a bit easier to get to the front, if you wish.
Yeah, spotting that he's cleared a path, I'm like, I'm gonna quickly jump through here. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm here now. Like, just wedge myself between people as the crowd starts to go back together. Just be like, no.
I was here all along.
Yep.
Pay no attention. Give me either an acrobatics or an athletics.
I can give you an athletics. 24.
Hey.
Much better. You quickly dart into the gap left behind Klaus as he barges his way through, and a few people try to step into the gap that he's left, and there's a few people that have always had the same idea as you, trying to use it as an opportunity to get close to the front of the action. But you quickly shove an arm in here and push people out of the way until you get to the front just behind Klaus. As the three of you reach the front of the crowd, the first thing that you see is what's blocking the road, which is a pair of carriages, carts that have been moved into a barricade blocking the entire road ahead, with several crates that have been dumped out on the ground in between them to stop the ability for any carts or horses to get through. Standing on the centermost crate is a gnome in fairly tatty looking robes. They don't look particularly fancy, but it's not unusual, especially for the gnomes of the city, with long red hair and quite a bushy red beard. He's standing on a crate at the front of this makeshift barricade, yelling and exchanging insults with a man wearing a long brown duster with white hair immediately to your left as you get to the front of the crowd. The human at the front of the crowd is yelling, "Get this stuff out of the way! I've got to get my stock on that ship! It's leaving harbour!" And the gnome says, "That's irrelevant. None of that's of any importance to us. This is our city, not yours."
Oh, hold up there. Everybody, stay calm. This seems to be some sort of commotion going on here. And I step forward to talk to this man. What's going on here, sir?
Well, as you can plainly see, these hoodlums have blocked the road. There's me and who knows how many other traders. We've got to get to the port. It's
And what time does your
ship
ship leave?
Still.
Are you in such a rush?
Of course we're in a rush. The captain's not going to wait. If my stuff's not on the ship, he's just going to take my deposit and leave.
All right, then. Well, you stay here, sir, and we'll have a word with these gnomes, and we'll try and sort this out for you as quick as we can. And,
Good. I pay my taxes.
Make my way down.
At that word as well, I move myself forward with good old Gunter. Nope, Klaus. Klaus. Why do we keep calling him Gunter?
Klaus Gunterberg.
Rosie's
I'll
just
stay
like,
with the disgruntled merchant.
yeah. Rosie's just going full, like, referring to everyone by their last names, like full military.
Yeah. Hey, Gunter, what?
Yes, Miss Swiftwind.
Swift River, but close enough.
Swift River. Damn.
Pretty close.
Oh, you know what? You
Honestly,
didn't get my surname right either, so.
Gunterberg.
Yeah. Bit of column A, bit of column B.
Name's Mark.
Excuse me, sir. What is the meaning of this, and why are you blocking the street?
This is a protest. Protests, I understand, are legal under the Rolands Landing Charter. We are protesting the unfair occupation of our city. We are protesting the coronation of Princess Charlotte, and we demand that this city be returned to the ownership and rulership of the gnomes who have lived here for generations.
I understand that, sir. I understand, but this is no way of going about it. There are places to protest, and there are ways of doing this. But you cannot simply block the streets and prevent these merchants from putting their items onto the ship. It's just not fair.
Fair?
I mean-
You talk about fair?
Like, I sort of chime in, because I'm going to be that gnome. I'm going to be like, I mean, it does make the most sense when you think about it, because what better way to hurt the humans that have occupied our city but to prevent them from making any money? I mean, is that not why they occupied the city in the first place? Because of the river's prime access in and out of the ports?
Exactly.
Well,
See? Your friend here gets it.
Oh, I get it, but I don't agree with you. Because there are
Miss-
far more effective ways to take what's yours back from the humans, and blocking the street, making me, who could argue may be hungover, out here to try and break you guys up. I'd call that incredibly inconsiderate and rude and ineffective, because now I'm just mad at you.
Rosefina, sir. Now, I myself am clearly not a human, and this has very little to do with me, and I am just here to keep the peace. If you would please move your carts away, otherwise we will be forced to arrest you.
You can arrest me. There's thousands of gnomes in this city. Hundreds of thousands. You can't arrest us all.
I understand that, sir, but there will be no need for it if you were just to move your cart.
No need.
Oh, God.
And why should
God
I?
damn it,
This
Beck.
land belongs to me as much as anybody else. Why can't I park my cart here?
And it is not these humans' fault at all either. We both share this area. I am but a dwarf that lives here as well, and you are also in my path.
Ooh.
Gonna cut to Gabriel for a moment. Can you give me a perception check, Gabriel, as you're scoping out the back of the crowd?
Indeed, I can. That'll be an 8.
8. It's kind of hard to see what's actually happening at the front, and you're not picking up all of the conversation. There's definitely still some murmurings going on in the crowd, although the arrival of the authorities is interesting enough for most people to quieten down to hear the exchange. So you're picking up the majority of this conversation, maybe just not the finer points. You do notice pulling in from the street to your left, weaving her way between the people, is Bunny with a hand cart, like a wheelbarrow size, push along hand cart, and she seems to be doing swift business selling pies and sausages to the onlookers.
Oh my God.
As she
No.
sees you, she gives you a bit of a wave, and then turns to another customer.
I bashfully wave back.
It's good business in big gatherings like this.
I imagine so, but forgive me, Bunny. This is more a matter of keeping the peace, if you catch my drift. So maybe don't get too caught up in the commotion.
Oh, of course. Would never get in the way of an investigation. Sausage?
Yeah, go on then. Hand over, I believe it was 4 copper, right, for a
Correct.
hot dog. I just take a hot dog and I'll just start eating it and keep an eye out from the crowd.
No worries. Gabriel's got his morning snack.
It's breakfast time.
Standing at the
Official
back of the
police
crowd.
business. Snack? Well, go on then. Oh, I could go for a
I'm
cheeky
like-
snack.
I'm on stakeout with a donut, basically.
Bless.
Now, please, sir. Please, sir, I don't want this to escalate any further. Can we please just move the cart and be on with our day? Is there anything that we can do to help you that would help you move the carts quicker?
You can get us a signed agreement that the Princess Charlotte won't be taking the throne, and that instead a representative of the gnome people of the city will be taking over rulership.
Oh, I believe that's a little bit out of my power, unfortunately.
And because
that is-
when you're done, I'll just chime in.
No, you can chime in.
Okay, I was just going to say, because I've had 0 coffee this morning already, I'm also just going to say, that's all well and good, but do you understand exactly how little power I don't know what to call it, the District of Illaba has in the high courts of the castle? I get it. I understand what you're trying to do and what you're trying to achieve, but do you understand how little they care about us down here? That this probably won't even reach their newspapers or whatever they read in the morning. No one's gonna tell them about this. No one's gonna say, oh, the gnomes were a bit upset, because we're always upset. And this is achieving nothing.
Give me
Cat.
give me a persuasion roll there, Rosie.
10.
10. The gnome standing on the crate says, I know that you don't have the power. I'm not asking for you to do it, but we only need to draw attention to our cause somehow, and if stopping commerce in this city is the only thing that the humans care about, then stopping commerce is what we'll do.
I'm not mad about that. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he
Oops, I
makes a
used
fair
the
point,
the
actually.
wrong dice there again.
Oops.
He's old.
Technical difficulties.
Rosie, can you please give me a dexterity save?
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's a 9. Oh, jeez.
Oh,
no.
As you're having this back and forth with the gentleman standing on the barrel, you're so absorbed in the conversation that you don't notice the egg sailing out of the crowd until it's too late, and it cracks on the side of your face and begins dripping down. You don't take any damage, but it is insulting. You hear a shout from the crowd, "Get out of here, gnomes!"
Ooh.
I'm gonna jump
Chime
in.
in.
I turn around after hearing this, and I'm gonna put on my scariest face that Hadrian can muster, and just say, "I'm gonna need people to disperse now. It's gone far enough."
All right, is that an intimidation?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no, natural one.
That's a 1.
As he's
Hadrian,
saying it,
you're not
the
good
egg
at being
lands
bad.
straight in his face.
No.
Alright, so I turn around and I look at the crowd and I just go, "Alright, I'm gonna need you all to go home. We need nothing to see here. Please don't throw eggs. That's not very nice. Can we just?
Hadrian, can you make me a
let-
dex save, please?
Oh,
Oh
no!
god. Oh god.
Oh,
Nice. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. The threat to the crowd, or the attempt to make them recognize your authority and disperse falls on deaf ears. But since you are facing that way, you're quick enough to dodge an egg that is flung from the crowd at you and sidestep it where it cracks harmlessly on the pavement. The guy standing next to you in the duster says, "What do you mean? You work for us, don't you? Not this lot. We pay our taxes, they don't. Get them out of here. Stop telling us to disperse."
Sir, we are all citizens of the same city. We serve everyone. We're trying to end this peacefully and as quickly as possible, and having this crowd here is just as bad as them blocking up the road.
Let's end this. Just arrest them already. They're breaking the law, aren't they?
I like to think I hear this and I just turn around because I'm fucking done now. Like, I was angry before, but now I'm pissed. And I turn around and I just advance on this man with egg dripping down the side of my face, and I'm so mad because I'm just like, how dare you? How dare you think that you can just arrest every gnome here because they're standing up for what they believe in? Like, I'm sorry that you get to miss out on putting your shit on a ship, but there is actual real issues that need to be dealt with beyond just your petty need to make money. So go fuck off, go live your life in your weird duster that is clearly too cool for you, and we will deal with you later.
Wow. Hadric is stunned.
That's how you intimidate someone, Hadric. Jeez. Do you want to give us an intimidate on that, Rosie? Because it definitely sounds like an intimidation more than a persuasion to me.
That was from the heart.
Can I try and persuade him that he's not cool enough for the duster?
Get in his head, make him self-conscious about his
Yeah, he
clothing.
takes the duster off and puts it on the floor and goes, "I'm sorry."
He seems more confused than anything. What? You're a member of the Watch, aren't you? What are you doing? I'm not breaking any laws here, am I?
You're not helping.
I don't think
Gabriel,
he was the one that threw it.
can you give me another perception check, please? Gabriel?
Oh, forgive me. I totally missed that.
It's alright. Chris is very tired. We're lucky he's here.
6.
6. Again, scanning the crowd, they seem to be getting a bit more restless. The fact that the watch is here, but they've not fixed the problem yet. You hear a few people sort of mumble like, "What's going on? Are they not arresting him?" Things of that nature kind of rumbling through the crowd. A few of the gnomes in the crowd, however, you kind of catch them nodding in approval at what Rosie's saying. And like, oh,
I'm inspiring some. Yes.
is that
Okay.
is that a member of the Watch sticking up for us? Yeah, crazy.
That was pretty good, Rosie, by the way.
Yeah.
I had a very long day at work.
I'm just gonna push the rest of this bunny's hot dog into my mouth and do that thing where you try and dust your hands off and oomph through the bread at the same time, and just kind of scoff the rest of it down.
Yep.
Take a deep breath, and I'll step forward at the rear of the crowd, and I'll try my best booming voice. All right, all the fun and games are over. Move on now.
Alright.
Sort of authoritatively, and I'll proudly.
As authoritatively as you can with crumbs on your face and flicking bits of onion off of your fingers.
Just spitting little pieces.
Bit of tomato sauce on the side.
Give us an intimidatorino.
12.
12. As you shout at the back of the crowd, a few people give you a bit of a glance, and then looking back at how things seem to be, the tension seem to be increasing, a few people do kind of nod to each other and say, yeah, maybe let's get out here before things get worse. And a few people start to scatter, but the people that seem the angriest or seem to be leaning towards one side or the other. Don't seem to give your instruction too much heed. People seem to be getting a little bit hot under the collar.
I'm beginning to kind of see the futility of this, and I just sort of sigh defeatedly at El Lamo in the duster, and I turn back, and I think it's time to arrest them. I think it's time to get them out of the street, take them to the watch house, and we'll try and, I don't know, talk some sense into them. But they can't stay here, otherwise it's just going to explode.
Yeah, this might be starting to become a safety concern.
Yeah, so I'm going to step forward up to Mr. Redbeard, and I'm going to grab him and say, "Sir, you're under arrest. You have failed to move your carts out of the street, and you are causing a commotion. I unfortunately have to put you under arrest."
He sort of smiles at you as you come closer. He says,
"Yep.
Well, I understand you've got a job to do, but so do I, I'm afraid. We won't go quietly." And with that, he and the two gnomes standing side by side next to him, one with an impressive mohawk. The two at either side of you leap forward with small makeshift kind of clubs and start swinging. Can everybody please, in a moment, give me a initiative? But let's see if we can do it right this time.
Yep. So,
Also,
character.
Don't forget, if this is combat, we start the first round with disadvantage and surprise.
You do indeed. I haven't forgotten.
Yep.
Don't you worry.
Sorry, spoilers. Sorry, my bad. Thank you, Gilded Lich, by the way.
Curse from the Gilded Lich, aka Varus Nox. So thank you from a couple of weeks ago.
Hey.
We didn't forget. We just didn't get to combat until now. Okay, that should have worked if everyone wants to click on themselves and then click on initiative, and you guys should pop up on my initiative tracker here.
Forgive me, I'm smooth brain. How to roll initiative?
So click on your thing, and then go to your character sheet.
Yeah.
And then there is above your health in the center initiative, and click on the word initiative.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
21.12. Let's go, baby.
Nice.
That's
15.6.
20 on initiative.
Did you select your character before you rolled it, Chris?
Did I?
Yeah. So click your character, so he's got his box around him, and the 3 circles, and then.
Oh, identical. 7. Perfect.
What are the chances of that?
1 in 20, I believe.
Oh!
Got him. Get math, bro.
Oh!
I think I still got you guys on here from last time. 1, 2, 3. I've got 2 Rosies. What did you roll, Rosie? 18.
I accidentally
your
rolled
12.
one that wasn't initiative. It was just a roll.
Oh, right, okay. There we go. That's okay. I think I've got the 4 of you on there now. Let's move that somewhere that's not going to be quite so in the way. And
I'm gonna tackle this guy.
Add some turns for your opponents here.
Do they even deserve it?
Well,
These guys
I mean,
are a thorn on my side.
Do they deserve a turn?
Yeah.
No, they don't. It's BS.
Yeah.
I had him. Basically had his hands in cuffs already.
It's too bad that you were surprised.
Oh, I was surprised that he was going to beat me up.
Yeah. You thought he was gonna.
I mean, he seemed pretty
Quietly.
peaceful right up until he didn't.
Yeah, right up until he was an angry man and small.
That he was.
Gosh, if these initiative rolls are anything to go off of, they're not going to be doing well. They've rolled 4, 3, 8, and 8.
I like it. This is good.
It's not the best rolls I've seen so far. They must be saving them for all of their brutal
Yeah.
Don't say that.
So,
Bro, I'm getting all my crits out of the way so that I can be useless in combat. That's what I'm doing.
Excellent.
Since you guys are surprised, you unfortunately miss your first round of combat. So we're skipping past Hadrig and Rosie. And the first of our NPCs we've got on the list is the gentleman standing next to you, Hadrig. Now that the tide seems to have turned, or the attentions of the four of you, or the three of you that he can see, have turned against the gnomes, he sort of folds his arms, looks on with a smug look on his face, but doesn't take any other actions.
Fun.
Rosie, you're standing at the front. The three gnomes are ahead of you. The fairly buff-looking gnome standing directly opposite you looks at you, gives an almost apologetic shrug, and then swings with his makeshift club. It looks like it's basically a piece of wood, like a 2x4, with some leather wrapped around it as a grip. It's very makeshift. Oh my goodness.
Oh, no.
It's a natural one.
No.
These guys are not great at rolling, apparently.
Good.
So he swings at you as he's hopping down from the crate he was standing on, and badly misjudges the swing. And as he lands, he seems to lose his balance, and it looks like he maybe rolled his ankle. Poor guy.
Just sort of like, as I see him land, sucks.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Klaus, the ringleader of this operation, as you judge it, lunges for you off of the crate that he was standing on, and as he does so, swings with his own poorly made...
Napton Redbeard.
Natural 20!
Oh!
That misses. My AC is...
Now,
no.
Reese or Beck, you guys probably know better than me. Do you need to confirm crits in 5th edition?
No.
No? Well, there you go.
Oh, God.
That's that. So, the way we're going to do crits is slightly different, I think, to rules as written. We're going to... This because this is the first critical hit on damage we've done. Unfortunately, it's not from a member of the party. But we're going to roll the damage dice and add the modifiers, and then we're going to add one full damage dice. So in this case, they're rolling a d4, so we're going to add 4, and as though the second dice rolled its maximum, just so that crits are a little bit more
lethal,
critty, you know. So that's a total of 6 damage as you receive a brutal blow across the head as this guy jumps off of the crate and bonks you on the top of the noggin. Look, it could be worse. Feeling? They could have scimitars, alright?
I'd like to go back to the watch house, please.
Immediately,
go home.
So the ringleader standing in front of you, Klaus, to his right is the mohawked gnome. And he starts rushing forward, and for a moment you're worried that he's going to pile on and start beating on you as well. But instead he runs past you and towards Hadrig and the man at the back. But Hadrig, he actually runs past you and squares up against the man at the back, yelling as he does so, "Take this, you big bastard!" and starts swinging his club.
Yep.
But with a 2, unfortunately misses. Which brings us around to the top. So after this surprising burst of action from the gnomes ahead of you, Hadrig, you shake your head and get yourself ready for action. You're still feeling a little bit shocked and or shook even by the events. So unfortunately you'll have disadvantages round.
That's fine. So seeing him take a swing at this guy, and the El Lamo in the duster hasn't done anything yet, right? So
actually, he's actively done nothing.
He's actively done nothing, right? So non-combatant. as far as I can see.
Mhm.
I'm gonna dive and save this guy, and I'm gonna try and dive onto the gnome in front of me and grapple him.
Go for it.
So I'll do my athletics versus his athletics or dexterity, athletics or acrobatics.
Sure. Well, he rolled a 3, so I think you're going to be okay.
Alright, so my first roll's a 19. My second roll is a 25.
20
Wow,
again.
a natural 20. So even with disadvantage, 19. You quickly step in between the gnome and the man he's trying to beat, and are you trying to pin him to the ground or just wrap your arms around him to sort of pin his hands to his side? What's the go?
I'm pinning him to the ground.
No worries. You use your superior size and weight to push the gnome to the ground and hold him by his shoulders to the cobblestones.
Cool. And then that is... I'm going to drag him as well. Drag him away from the man. Moving a grappled creature. When you move, you can drag or carry the grappled creature with you, but your speed is halved unless the creature is 2 or more sizes smaller than you. I believe gnomes are 1 size smaller than me, so I can only move half. I'm going to try and drag him away from the commotion.
Okay.
So we'll just say 5, 10 to where I am.
Okay, no worries. So you start pulling him away from the man he tried to attack, and sort of away from the edges of the crowd, I suppose.
Yeah.
No worries. So you end up slightly behind Klaus there as you drag him back the way that you came. Rosie, you again sort of get over the surprise of this attack, and it is your turn.
Alrighty. So
The gnome standing in front of you looks like he's rolled his ankle. He's kind of, his weight's not quite distributed correctly across his legs.
So I sort of see how he's holding his weight, and I take my billy club because I'm not a horrible person, and
Just start shanking him with your dagger.
I instead go to hit him on the side of the knee with the leg that's supporting him.
Okay,
So just to really take him out, you know?
no worries. Roll me an attack. As you do so, however, a bit of yolk drips in your eye and makes it difficult to swing. So roll with disadvantage.
Oh, yum yum. That's
Just a
salmonella.
D20. I'm gonna cheat.
Nah, she'll grow up and big and strong now.
That's it.
Dang.
So it would be the 8.
Yeah.
So 8 plus...
For strength, dexterity, constitution. Or 8 plus my club.
Yeah, which will be your strength and your
Proficiency.
proficiency.
I think it's strength and proficiency. Because my proficiency bonus... Okay, it's 1. So it would be 9.
9? 9 is not a hit, unfortunately, but only just. As you swing, trying to take his good leg out from under him, he manages to hop backwards, and the swing misses, unfortunately.
No, me bastard.
The guy at the back that was arcing up against the gnome here calls out over his shoulder, "All right, come on, let's give the members of the watch here a helping hand, shall we?" And sort of punches his hand into his fist, and behind him 2 pretty burly looking men step out of the crowd.
That's less helpful.
Uh-oh.
That's not good.
Escalation.
Deception.
But sort of maneuvering their way to the front of the crowd takes the remainder of their turn.
In with your sword.
You're all probably a bit preoccupied to see, but one of them throws a half-empty carton of eggs to the ground.
Oh, what a POS.
Oh boy. Yeah.
What a perms of service.
Rosie,
Point of sale.
the gnome you've been squaring up against appears to have regained at least acceptable use of his ankle and swings at you with his club. Oof. That is a 6. I think that's probably going to be a miss.
Yes, I miss.
He swing and a miss. If you didn't know better, you'd swear his heart wasn't really in it.
That's fair.
Gabriel, you're standing at the back of the crowd, and although you can't make out exactly what's going on, the sort of tone of the crowd has very much changed. More people are sort of scurrying away from the backs now that violence has broken out, but there's an equal number of people who either A, just find this exciting and enjoyable because free entertainment, right? Or that are getting emotionally invested in one side or the other.
All right, I'm going to step forward into the crowd. I'm going to take out my billy club and sort of wield it menacingly, and I'll shout once more to the crowd. All right, everyone, this is your second warning. Next time, there'll be arrests. Come on, move.
Sure thing. Another intimidation from Gabriel bringing up the rear.
I'm feeling intimidated.
Ooh, that's
Regular
pretty
20.
good.
20, an unnatural 20. That's pretty good. Your voice carries over the back of the crowd, and a fair few people that seem to be kind of deciding whether or not to stay or go. This is enough of the final straw for them to decide that it's not worth hanging around, risking getting in trouble with the fuzz. And a significant number of people at the back of the crowd begin moving away. Some of them are quite happy to just turn and walk away. Others almost seem to kind of try and slink away, like they don't want to be spotted by you as... or singled out, rather, by you.
Yeah. Each of them has probably got a tiny vial of sway, and they're just worried about it being confiscated.
Man, I've heard this guy's a real hard ass.
Now that the crowd has dispersed a little, would I be able to push forwards as best I can to try and get closer to what's going on?
Yeah, you won't need to make any checks now to get through the crowd. You'll move at half speed through those 2 squares, though.
Oh, yeah. Hi.
I got him.
Welcome in. Welcome to the party.
As you push way to the front of the crowd, you take in the scene in front of you. You can see Hadrig grappling with one of the gnomes that's wriggling in his arms, trying to bust free. And Klaus and Rosie squared off against the 2 gnomes remaining at the front. And as you get to the front of the crowd, it's about the same time that these 2 burly characters step out behind the man and appear more than ready to deal out some damage.
Right.
They're ready to throw down.
Yeah, I should have got another hot dog.
Gonna need that energy.
Klaus?
Yeah.
I look over at Hydrig and go, Hydrig, do you want me to arrest him?
We just need to get him out of here. Like, I'm
Well, if
struggling
we-
with the gnome in front of me.
I feel like I just yell over my shoulder, just throw him up to the sergeant, he's not that heavy.
Well, if we cuff him, then he's no danger to any of us, and then we can deal with the others. Bring him in. I'm gonna walk over and I'm gonna cuff this man that Hydrig is grappling.
Go for it. Make me a... I'm just wondering you guys knows off the top of your head the rules for manacling a unwilling creature. I'm just going to use a grapple check for the time being, and we can fix that later if that's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we all in possession of manacles as part of our kit?
Yes.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, but there goes my one
sorry.
pair.
Yeah, I may not have explicitly stated you had those on you.
That's alright.
Did I get off the horse? Do we have them?
Yeah.
You have manacles. You're police. I mean, Polis Defence. Cool.
Yeah, true.
So go ahead and give us Reassure the Grapple King. What's Klaus rolling here?
So Klaus will need to roll a athletics check versus athletics or acrobatics. Currently got my grappling guide open in front of me, so...
Cool.
Yeah, nice.
Well, the gnome only rolled a 4. Class, you are going to have to do it
Right.
with the disadvantage. Sorry, I forgot.
Oh, rip.
Here, you seem to
Alright.
you seem to hear in the background some of the the cackling of some long dead lips.
Not terrible. Not great.
It still beats the 4 that the gnome rolled, so you do manage to slip the manacles over the gnome's hands behind his back.
And I look at the humans and I go, "Step back! You don't need to get involved, otherwise we'll have to arrest you as well."
This is the crowd, is it?
This is to the 3 humans that are stepping
Oh,
forward.
right. Give
The
me
Duster Bros.
an intimidation check on that one.
There it is. I got an 8.
8. The 2 on the sides turn to the guy in the middle, who definitely seems to be the leader of the 3, and seem to be kind of waiting to take his lead.
Cool. Is that all my actions?
Yes. The gnome ringleader, now standing on the ground, watching his friend get arrested, decides to rush towards Hadrig and take a swing. He rolls a 12 as he swings at you, shouting, "Let him go! We don't recognize the laws of this city."
Sovereign citizens.
Sovereign citizens.
My AC is 16.
16, so that is a miss. It just glances off your armor harmlessly.
Can I respond to it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to... Sir, we're doing this for your safety. Like, we need you guys to get out of here now. Come with us and we can talk about this later. Like, just trying to, like, diffuse the situation. Like...
Yeah, you can go ahead and give me a persuasion on that one if you'd like.
Sure. That's 13.
13. Not horrible. You can see that he's listening. He's not like he's totally ignoring what you're saying. But he says, "This isn't a case of just our safety. We've got to make a scene if we want to be heard." And we go to the guy that you have manacled in front of you. His options are pretty limited now that his hands are cuffed behind his back.
Double grapples.
Have you still got a hold on him, Hadrian?
Yeah, I've still got a hold on him. Yeah.
No worries. He thrashes about and attempts to break out of the grapple, but since he's cuffed, it's going to be with disadvantage.
Yep.
Which is then 11.
And then I will do...
Yeah, kick him in his behind me.
That's a 9.
He does manage to slip out of your grip, but he kind of backs out of your grip into into Klaus, standing behind him. So he's now just basically standing between the two of you with his hands cuffed behind his back. Which brings us around to your turn, Hadrian.
Okay. So he's cuffed. I still have cuffs on me, so I'm gonna try and attempt to cuff the leader. Yeah.
Napton Redbeard.
Yeah.
Napton Redbeard.
So I'll use my grapple to... So my athletics, which that is a 13.
Ooh, and he rolls a 10. So you successfully... He seems like he's going for another swing with the club, but you grab the wrist that's swinging the club and manage to grab his other hand and sort of wrestle him into submission a little bit.
Yeah. Can I cuff him to myself?
Sure.
This can only go well.
Right, he's not going anywhere. Like, that is...
Yeah. You can't possibly throw your
So
nose
you're
out.
slapping one cuff around his arm, another around yours.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh boy.
no worries.
Hey, if his friend gets away, he's not getting away. That's like...
Yeah, this is the napkin we're talking about.
Bro, with my intelligence of a -1, this can only go well.
Yeah, he just starts wailing on you, and he's stuck to you.
Rosie, it's your turn, and before you make your turn, can I get you to give me a perception check, please?
Yes, you can. Alrighty. That's 12.
12. As you're sort of flailing back and forth with this gnome with the gammy ankle that you're standing up against, neither of you managed to land a hit just yet. You swear you hear to your left, coming from the crowd, your name being called. Rosie! Rosie!
I just sort of look to the left,
Yeah.
I guess.
You glance over and you spot at the front of the thinning crowd on the left-hand side the gnome that you met yesterday at the gate, Timothy.
Okay.
He kind of takes in the commotion. He's like, I can see you're busy, but it's important. And he throws a crumpled up ball of paper towards you.
Okay. I attempt to catch it.
Sure, give me a dex check.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. I have
Nice.
a +5 to my dexterity. Why must I roll low for my saves?
You reach out for
Nine.
the ball of paper, and you kind of end up doing that kind of hot potato juggle as it bounces out of one hand. You try to catch it with the other. In the end, you do manage to grab a hold of it. But as you glance back up, you see that the gnome that you were facing is in the process of hopping over the crate behind him and making a run for it.
I throw my billy club at him.
Oh, don't throw your club, bro.
Don't throw your club. We went through this.
I throw my billy club at him.
Okay, it's not a throwing weapon, so give me a ranged. I guess it's a ranged attack, right? So add your dexterity instead of your strength, but do it with disadvantage for me because it's not a
Okay.
weapon that is supposed to be thrown.
I will roll it twice then. Okay. So we have...
Oh, that was almost a 20 on my screen.
Yeah. Alright. Oh, let's try that again. Start again.
So is your proficiency bonus a +1, is it? Oh,
No.
a natural 1.
So her proficiency bonus should be a 2.
Yeah,
Why are you
my-
rolling dex saves? That's...
I don't know. Am I rolling the wrong thing? I was just told to roll dexterity.
Well, I mean, I guess that adds dexterity to the roll, so it's...
I mean... yeah, look, it's your call.
Look,
We can talk about it later.
I'm happy to roll again if anyone has a better suggestion.
I'd say roll a d20 and then add your dexterity bonus and your proficiency onto that, but then do that as a disadvantage. But
Yeah, so all we would need to do in this case is just add the 2 to the dex save already.
I think it actually evens out because your saving throw gets your proficiency bonus added as well. I'm looking at your character sheet now, and your dexterity save is a +5, 3 from your dexterity, 2 from your proficiency bonus, which is the same as it would be.
Okay.
So, although it's technically
Yeah.
not the right button to click, the math works out in this case.
yeah, alright, cool.
Okay.
Or close enough for me, anyway. And not that it actually matters because that one was one of the rolls.
Yeah,
You-
no,
Yeah.
still pretty
Sorry,
good.
yeah.
Frantically, as you look up and see that the guy's hopping away over the barrel, you fling your club in like an underarmed panicked throw, but it goes wide and just bounces off of one of the carts.
Ah, jeez.
And you see him give you one final sort of shrug as he hops down off the back of the cart and then flees down the street.
Stop in the name of the law. Anyway.
Yeah, don't do it.
As you're wrestling the ringleader and his companion that you managed to get a hold of into submission. Hadrig, you hear right behind you, especially the man who was sort of leading the few humans say, "What? That's it? You're not going to rough them up?" And he starts to sort of move forwards, and as he goes to take a step forward, a crossbow bolt hits the cobblestones right in front of him. And you guys look up to see Sergeant Chaplin standing on the balcony to your right as you are standing there. And he just shouts down, "Don't even think about it. It's all over, boys. Go home."
Oh, Sarge finally intervened. Thank you.
Saved by the bell.
And with a bit of a grumble, they look up at the menacing-looking crossbow in the sergeant's hands and start to back off and begin dispersing along with the thinning crowd.
I vote we arrest them. We could rough them up. They wanted someone to be roughed up. Let's rough them up. Let's do it.
I agree.
Get 'em.
Don't be a corrupt cops of humans. I don't give a crap.
Could Rosie and Gabriel, since the two of you aren't actively with a perp, give me perception rolls, please?
Yes. Uh-oh.
I rolled
got-
a 14.
I've got a hot dog in my eye.
Natural one from Gabriel. But a 14
Yeah.
from Rosie. Rosie, as they're dispersing, you notice that as many carts as there are backed up and traffic jammed on the street, these three don't return to a cart. They seem to be just wandering off into the streets. You get the feeling that they didn't have stock to get onto a ship at all. They were just there to cause trouble.
Dirty bastards.
What jerks.
My idea.
With the end of our little conflict, we have run out the clock for our focus game time. Time flies when you're having fun.
Oh yeah.
Jump back to our
Well done, guys.
chat screen for a minute here.
Oh lord, I got hat.
Good job, guys. You defused the riot.
Yay!
Yay!
Or the potential riot.
Yeah. And we took 2 people into custody.
You did.
Yeah, we
First,
did.
first arrests.
Hey, nice. Now
Look,
we
I'm
I
not
gotta
proud
love
about it because I'm sort of on their side, but like, it's the only way to get them move out of the street. So
Tough calls.
You feel bad,
Tough
Adric.
calls need to be made.
You feel bad. I'm a kind betrayer over here. I'm betraying my own kind.
Let's have a quick scan through chat to see what we missed. Egg Boy the Defiler, level 999. I don't know what that's in reference to, but
The egg
I'm
thrower.
all about Egg Boy the... Oh, the egg... Right, no, sorry, I get it. The level 999 boy throwing eggs. Exactly.
oh god,
You guys are lucky you didn't catch him.
bro,
That
he
guy
would have
can-
been
it
roughed
was.
up.
That guy
He would
can-
have been
yeah.
roughed up.
That guy can do lethal damage with eggs.
Gabriel turns around, he's got 2 eggs in his eyes. He's just like, what happened?
We've got Choco Crazy Yandere. This is an interesting encounter. Thank you very much. I like the idea of kind of having, you know, some moral grey areas for our poor officers. Gotta make decisions. Make decisions.
Yeah.
First encounter for the channel. Really intriguing. Well, welcome in. I hope you're enjoying so far. This is our 4th session of this little campaign, and it's our 2nd combat encounter. Or I guess 3rd if you count your run-in with Chad at the bar.
Yeah, Chadwick, Rumble
A
Rod.
few rounds of some spirited bar.
I would say
shoving.
that since we didn't get a map for Chadwick Thundercock, then I'd say it was less a encounter, more just a happenstance.
This was the second battle map we've had to bust out.
Mm.
I was
Yeah, I noticed that. We opened up on the screen and I was like, what is happening? Oh, that's right. There was a riot at the end of last episode.
Yeah, I spent ages trying to work out how to represent just like a crowd of people without just
This is
drawing
very
like
clever.
without just drawing a line and being like crowd here. So I settled on just having a bunch of silhouettes as a stand-in.
Oh, that's good.
So I mean, it kind of worked.
I mean, it
did the
works.
job.
It works very well because the shadow obviously represents like a slower area / hidden as well, because you had those thugs sort of materialize
they were hiding
from the
in
crowd. So I think it was done very well.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, I joined Roll20 without being like, hey, I'm joining Roll20 now, and this popped up, and I instantly panicked. I'm like, oh, Kai, I just saw a map. I'm sorry. What am I supposed to see this?
No, that's okay. We started the session, so I didn't mind if you guys saw it. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. I had a few different outcomes sort of jotted down, so you guys went one way. We'll see how that affects things later on.
Yeah,
nice.
Just keep your ultimate storylines to
made
yourself.
decisions. It's okay.
Kai's got a tree and is like, all right, in this encounter, they did this. All right, they're going down this avenue.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh dear, they've already failed because the only win condition is down this avenue.
This is what Supermassive's second game should have been. Like, not the quarry. It should have been I forgot to pre-order the quarry at work today. God damn it.
That just mental tangent of, wait a second, I left the oven on.
I've stolen something from you, Kai. I keep describing things as the rubber duck theory. Because I've never heard of that before.
Oh, the rubber duck solution is a classic.
Explain that.
Yeah, would you like to explain what the rubber duck solution is?
It comes
please?
from the world of programming, which I'm not a programmer. But if you're stuck on a problem and you can't work it out, you explain it to a rubber duck on your desk, and a lot of the time just talking through the problem, you get yourself to a solution. So it's quite helpful. I mean, it doesn't have to be used for programming, that's just where it comes from. I mean, I do IT support, and sometimes if I'm like, what the heck is this problem? I'll just start talking it out loud like I'm talking to someone who has no idea what's going on. And I'll be like, oh, there's a thing that we could try. So, rubber duck solution is a good one.
Yeah, like my job is like 98% technical issues, and so I'm like, all right, let me just explain it out, and this is how we normally solve it. Okay, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I'm totally using that from now on. That's...
Yeah.
It does work, yeah. I use it all the time, but unfortunately, it's not the rubber duck that's a recipient. It's my girlfriend, and she does not care for programming at all.
So you just get the blank stare, the same as a rubber duck. I mean,
I guess
she may as well be inanimate plastic, because she's just like, yep.
Maybe I won't tell her what the real analogy is.
I feel bad for my staff members that call me with a problem that I know the answer to, and then I have to like repeat the problem back to them like 3 or 4 times before I'm like, wait, no, this is what the solution is. Okay, there you go. Go do that.
It's like when people ask questions, it's like, well, just listen to what you just said, and then I'm sure you'll figure it out from the question that you just asked.
Yeah.
Listen to what you have just said, and I'm sure it will come to you.
Yeah. You have just answered your own question if you would care to pay attention.
But I want you to tell me that it's the correct answer, so that when it goes wrong, I can be like, well, this is what you told me to do.
It's not my fault that it went wrong.
Yeah.
Tips for finding D&D groups to play with. I mean, I guess we're lucky because we're part of a group that play board games and things all the time, so it's kind of in the bag. But, I mean, if you've got a friendly local game store, a lot of them will do D&D nights, or things like Friday Night Magic, that kind of thing, and those are some great places to meet like-minded folks. You know, I know for a fact that our local game stores do D&D nights where it's just like, rock up, even if you don't know the first thing about D&D, and someone who's experienced running a game will be there with dice and character sheets and a nice intro campaign ready to go. And it's a really good foot in the door for a lot of people to get into the hobby. Online is also a great option as well. I mean, we're using Roll20 as our virtual tabletop, but there are other options available, and a lot of those will have like looking for group options as well to find online groups if that's your preference, or if you don't have somewhere nearby that does it in person. I mean,
there's also local communities that do it online, so it's like your major city. So like for us, we have Perth is where we're all located, and they do have like a Perth D&D sort of thing, and then from there people will talk about games, or they're looking for players or they're just discussing the game in general. So
Yeah. And I recommend doing that, because if you play with a bunch of strangers and learn the game through them, then when you get to playing with friends, you'll have a much smoother experience of teaching them how to play. And if you stuff up royally, well, they're just strangers. Don't worry about it. They're not going to remember you. But yeah, like definitely look into local game shops. And then yeah, also online if it's difficult to go into a local game shop. You know,
I mean,
they're out there. People want to play.
Yeah, and depending where you're based, like for Perth, we're actually very fortunate because we actually have like a nerd Facebook group for the city of Perth that a lot of people are a part of. So it's super easy just to chuck a question out there and be like, "Hey, does anyone want to play D&D?" And you'll more often than not get a couple of people to just be like, "Oh, I do." But alternatively, if you don't have that, like Reddit, most cities or towns or whatever actually have like a Reddit community, and just being able to post on there and be like, I'm interested in doing this, where do you recommend I start? That can go a long way in just being like getting you on the right path of where you want to go.
yeah, I'd say step one, close friends is the best option. People that you know, people that you play board games or cards or anything, or hang out socially on a regular, and then introduce them to D&D, and then you've got a nice smooth group. But if none of your friends are interested in D&D, then yeah, your local store is a good place to start.
See, I would actually recommend going with Reese's idea first. It's basically because you'll end up happening what happened with my group, and it's a whole bunch of novices learned how to play D&D at the same time together, and that not only makes combat take 3 times longer than it needs to, but it also means that our DM had to write in a meta way to explain us knowing everything everyone was doing all at the same time.
So on that note, we had the same situation or a similar situation where I started playing with Kye, and I've been playing for years now, and like we all kind of started playing together at the same time, and they'd been introduced through someone else who had been playing it for a while, and we have played for, I want to say 10 years. We've been playing for like 10 years or whatever it is, and then I started DMing with a completely different group, and so I took it on and I was starting to play Starfinder. And because I was the DM, I did a lot more reading into like some rules and stuff. And then I came back to that group that I had been playing with for so long. It's my like childhood D&D group, and we played it. And then they went, "Oh yeah, I do this." And I'm like, "Oh, actually, that's not the rule. This is the rule." And they're like, "No, that's how we've been playing." I'm like, "I haven't played with you guys in like a good 3 years, but that's not the rule." And they're like, "What do you mean?" And then we check the rule, and I'm like, yes, because you guys have played with yourself and only the same circle for so long, that's how you played it, because
house
you've
rules,
got
definitely.
House rules
and house mistakes that become rules, which I mean, as a whole isn't a problem as long as everyone is on board. And as I think every role-playing book I've ever read says, this is a guideline, feel free to chop and change things as you will, so it's not you know.
I mean, even
nothing's set in stone, and we played it that way for so long that we didn't know that it was wrong anyway, because we were just playing that way, and it didn't interrupt the game, because that's the rule that we had all agreed on in the party.
It definitely stems from that. I don't know how the rule works, so we're just gonna do it this way, and I'll look it up later. And then you never look it up because that just works for you. So you just like, it's fine. We'll keep doing it like this, and then you're like.
I mean, the important thing to note is that if it's a rule like that ultimately doesn't infringe on your experience of the game, then if changing it is going to affect that, then don't change it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what we're going with for this, especially because we're live and trying to keep things moving. Sometimes I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants and not necessarily doing things rules as written, but you know, we're here for fun, not to get into the litigation of the rules. So
I'm sorry, you brought a rules lawyer into the game, and I'm here to question every rule you get wrong. So, Kye, we're having a long discussion about how throwing clubs works.
Reese, that's the YouTube comments. Calm down.
Hey, Reese, you know what? There's 3 Pathfinder players here and 2 5e players, alright? I think
you're outnumbered.
And you yourself have played a copious amount of Pathfinder, so you do yourself a disjustice, a disservice.
Alright guys, well I think we're going to take a very, very quick break. I need to just pop to the what did you call it yesterday, Reese?
It's a water closet, also known as the shitter.
Or a box of shame.
I like the box of
shame.
The box of shame. I need to go to the box of shame briefly.
Do some water bending.
To empty the bladder, do some water bending, get a refill on the water, and I'm sure the others would like to do the same. So go grab yourself a snack, grab a drink, and we will be back for the second half to see what the aftermath of this combat was. What was the note that Beck was thrown from the crowd while she was in the middle of combat? What is going on
really
here?
hot.
It was a love note. Let's. We already know. It's a love note.
I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping.
Well, there's only one way to find out, and that is to let me pee. We will be back very, very shortly, guys. Stick around. We're back.
We're back.
The
Hello.
bladder has been emptied.
Nice.
Reese was just doing us a favor and looking up the correct way to do improvised throwing weapons. I kind of winged it there, but in case it comes up again, it would be good to know the actual factual way of doing it.
Actual factual way. I like it.
I was watching the clock tick down, and I was like, "Let's just throw the club. It's fine."
Just throw it. So there's
that is a large mouthful of water there, Beck. Sorry, I should have waited for you to swallow.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Just mute to cough yourself into a.
No, I was muted to drink my water because the lid is a clunky boy.
Yeah, so some weapons have a thrown property, which makes it really easy, right? So if a weapon has a thrown property, you can throw the weapon to make a ranged attack. If the weapon is a melee weapon, you use the same ability modifier for that attack roll and damage roll that you would use for a melee weapon with that attack. For example, if you throw a hand axe, you use your strength, but if you throw a dagger, you can use either your strength or dexterity, since the dagger has the finesse property, right? So the problem is with throwing something that doesn't have a thrown, or throwing a weapon that doesn't have the thrown subtext.
Yeah.
It's not a common rule, I guess. So we were just sort of discussing how that should have been handled. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm realizing I actually can't find the specific way it should be handled, because I have a feeling it could be treated as an improvised weapon, and then it more affects damage rather than hit.
Okay.
An improvised thrown weapon has a normal range of 20 feet and a long range of 60 feet, and then an improvised weapon deals 1d4 damage. Hold on. If a character uses a ranged weapon to make a melee attack, or throws a melee weapon that does not have the thrown property, found it, it also deals 1d4 damage. So it just reduces the damage to 1d4.
Okay, so it doesn't reduce its chance of hitting.
No. So you could make a, I guess it would just be a straight up normal attack. So for instance, it's a club, so that would use the strength modifier. So you'd make an attack using the strength modifier. And then just when it hits, because it's not a weapon made for attacking, it would just deal 1d4 damage.
Okay.
And that's with no bonuses or anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for.
So if you throw a
Fine,
two-handed
fine.
long sword at someone,
Mhm.
it's 1d4 damage still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the weapon is not made for throwing. Whereas if it's got the thrown property, such as a hand axe, that will do 1d6 plus plus the mod.
Got it.
I could be getting that wrong. It's just what I'm reading here.
Okay, I mean that sounds about right. I was basing it off of, again, Pathfinder, which is where more of my experience lies, where an improvised thrown weapon is a -4 to hit, and generally where there would be negatives in Pathfinder, there are disadvantage in D&D. So that's where I was coming from. But
Yeah.
damage reduction is also makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm.
So if you guys
Hit
throw
the
your
mark.
clubs again in future, we will keep that in
Yeah.
mind.
I guess it's one of those like sort of like deep dive rules where you're just like, okay, well, how can we deal with this?
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, Beck rolled a 1, so it didn't matter. But the disadvantage comes from the range that it's used at. So something to keep in mind next time we're throwing clubs around.
Yeah, you guys, careful what you do with your department-issued equipment, alright? Not a toy. This lovely club talk takes me back to my first game when I almost got waxed, dodged, and took the Thugs Club. Nice.
Hell yeah.
Just the
What you
quick
want?
disarm and bop them with their own weapon.
But I will say, if someone does have more expertise on this rule, I will open this one open to critiquing. Like, I've been playing 5th Ed since it came out, but like I still also don't know all the rules. I just buy the books and look at the pretty pictures. So I read the things that are important to me. I know grappling really well because I often grapple a lot. I don't know much about thrown weapons, so it's just like,
Well,
yeah, thrown weapons. Don't need that.
There's
Tear
rules
that
in
out.
here? I just like the pictures.
Yeah.
hell, I mean, I just bought one. I bought a book of D&D because it was magic related.
Yeah.
Speaking of
So,
D&D,
they have
Reese
me.
and I both got the same new role-playing thing recently. I don't know if yours is
Yep.
to hand.
Hold on, it is.
There was a Kickstarter for this remastered version of the first Call of Cthulhu edition, which was originally the very first Call of Cthulhu, which, if you don't know, is a role-playing game set in like the H.P. Lovecraft mythos, came in this nice box with like all these sort of booklet books instead of like full-size books. And this is like a reprint, more or less, of like a 40-year-old system, and it is very, very nice. I was looking through it, and there's this massive poster of like the world, but the world as it is in like the 1920s in the Cthulhu mythos. So there's like a marker on there for like where Relais is, and like the city in the Mountains of Madness. It's real nice.
That's cool.
And there's
Yeah,
some
and
wicked art.
it's actually cool. I didn't realize some of the books that it came with because I've actually been looking for a few of these books, which is why I said to Kai, I was like disappointed that they didn't come with actual like flat
Like spines.
flat spines, so that I could actually show them off on my shelves when they arrived. But these are all actually like really cool.
Yeah, Trail of Slogua is one that I'm pretty keen to play.
Yeah, I think these are all showing up back to front as well because of our camera settings. But
They're not showing
Yeah.
up. Showing up right. They're showing back to front to you because
yeah, it might be me. Also, it came with dice. I didn't realize it came with dice.
Yeah. never enough dice. So if you guys just put it out
That's the
there,
only
if you
reason you
guys
bought it,
are
right?
watching this either here with us live on Twitch, or if you're watching this later on YouTube, and you would be interested in us playing role-playing games other than D&D, let us know if you guys would like to see some Call of Cthulhu or anything like that. If that's something you guys would be interested in, let us know. That's something we can look at for the future. We've done a few other role-playing games in the past. Chris has done his Pathfinder one-shots, and we did a one-shot with the Avatar The Last Airbender RPG. So they're all up on YouTube if you want to check us out doing other role-playing goodness.
we also did Cyberpunk back in the day.
Yes.
Cyberpunk
We didn't do. We did the jumpstart kit.
Yeah.
Kit. So like the intro, which is actually here on my shelf behind me.
Yeah, so we actually have
so many good systems out there.
It's surprising because I don't think we talk about role playing a whole lot on the channel, but we're actually like really like avid role players. Considering like
Yeah, we probably play board games, but we all really enjoy a good role playing session.
yeah, like most
And
of
we
my
played quite a few different systems as well.
yeah most of my books here. I don't know if it's popping up on camera. Most of the books behind me are role playing books, as well as I have 3 boxes of role playing books down there. I have a pile outside of my room as well because I have no room in my room to store the books.
Out.
Yeah,
I-
I just
I-
collect the books because they're cool.
Yeah, that's my danger. Is like I have on my shelf. I have quite a large selection of the Starfinders, but then I kind of stopped collecting them because I stopped playing and I wasn't up to date with them. And then I have the Pathfinder 2nd Edition, which I have yet to play. I haven't played Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I bought that when it came out. And then I finally have my Cyberpunk Red, which I also haven't played. So,
I mean,
who knows? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I've backed the Blade Runner RPG that was on Kickstarter recently. I'm excited for that.
Oh, and I also pre-ordered it, or at least you pre-ordered it for me.
Yeah.
Nice.
Reese has got the Alien RPG, which I'm
Yep.
super stoked to play. Alien. I've got Worlds of Darkness. I've got Numeria. We've got so many different role-playing systems among us.
Yeah. I own most of the 8th edition Call of Cthulhu books, as well as I think Kye owns a majority of them as well.
Yeah.
I also have like a lot of weird random books too. Like I've got like, because I had like a friend do a big clear out, and he was just like, "Hey, you play role playing books? Do you want to buy a bunch for cheap?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want to buy a bunch for cheap." So I got like this random steampunk one that I'm never gonna use, but like, I got like the core set for D&D 4th edition. I've got.
Yep.
Wow.
I've got a bunch of random like third party books. I've got advanced Dungeons and Dragon books.
I think I've got a copy somewhere of Rogue Trader, the 40k space trader system that I ended up with from a old roommate that his stuff must have got mixed in with mine when we moved. So if you're watching, Cam, I've got your Rogue Trader book. Sorry.
Okay, that's my book now.
I've only ever played one session of that, but it was great fun. I was playing like a Mechanicus, or some pronunciation like that, and I was like spirit communing with the ship to get us through the war, which was a lot of fun.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
I just have a lot of dice.
Yeah. I also have, and I found a place that actually has the core rulebook for this, so this might be a thing in the future. I have books for Cthulhu Punk, which is Cyberpunk crossed with Call of Cthulhu.
What?
Yeah. And they're out of print books, but there's a Perth supplier that deals in secondhand RPG books.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, I might have to send you guys the link.
That is pretty dope.
Yeah, and they have the core rulebook for Cthulhu Punk, and I'm like, I gotta buy that.
Yeah.
Because I already have like a bunch of the supplementary books, and I'm just like, all right.
Yeah, I've been pretty tempted to get the Akchung Cthulhu source books, which is like Cthulhu during World War II.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That'd be cool.
That'd be so cool, doing all these like clandestine missions in the midst of World War II that are actually to try and stop like elder gods, under the guise of being military operations. Pretty sick. All right, guys. I think we should probably jump back to the table without too much further chats of all the other role-playing games that we have to play. But the moral of that story was, if any of those sounded really interesting to you and you want to see us play them, do let us know, because otherwise we won't know. We're not mind readers. I'm not sure about Chris. That he might. Possible.
Verdict's still out on Chris. I think
it's possible.
I'm not revealing anything.
I know you can hear my thoughts, boy. Like,
Just clapping monkey with cymbals.
All right, let's whip back to the table. With that sexy
what a bloody
sound
legend!
effect
Here's
again.
finger guns.
Hey, thank you for the follow. Check out Reese in that little video there. I love our new follow. Our new follow animations, so good.
Thank you for the follow, Chuck. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Quite good.
Oh, so ridiculous.
Alrighty, guys, let's restart the timer as we jump back in. So the rest of the crowd disperses, leaving the four of you standing in the crossroads with your two arrests. The mohawked gnome that you've kind of taken control of, Klaus, is still sort of half-heartedly trying to wriggle himself out of your grip, but he's not really putting his all into it. And Hadrig, the one that you've handcuffed to your arm, which was the ringleader of the group, is quite calm now that all is said and done. He holds up his hand where he's cuffed to you, and he's like, "It's an interesting strategy. Haven't seen that one before."
I just turn to him and I'm like, "Yeah, I figured you weren't going too far if you were cuffed to me. So it wasn't I didn't want to be forceful with it, but can't really go too far, can you?" Like,
no, right about that, he says. He tugs at it sort of quite with a bit of strength, but certainly not enough to match just the sheer, bulk of you. Yep, certainly not going far. So what's the plan now? Take me into an alleyway, rough us up a little.
What? No. That's not what we do. Look, we're probably gonna have to follow procedure and go back to the watch house. We'll probably also try and get the guys to clear this up as quickly as possible. But we'll have a chat to you guys back at the watch house, and we'll go from there. I can't guarantee that you will get away scot-free due to resisting arrest, but we can definitely have a calm chat about this and figure out where we can go. What can we do to work some stuff out, right?
My work is done for the day now. You do what you gotta do.
I just walk up behind him and I put my hand on his shoulder and I was like, "I know this isn't the desired outcome, but we just didn't want to see you guys get hurt."
Oh, this is pretty much the outcome I expected. It's more about making a scene than actually succeeding on day one.
And you did make a scene.
More than you
And
realize.
what do you have planned for day 2?
Oh well, I'll probably still be in the slammer if I'm reading the situation right. But who knows? There's plenty of gnomes in the city.
Nobody knows.
Rosie, now is not the time for puns.
Or is it the perfect time for puns?
Alright, let's get this mess cleaned up and let's get back to the watch house.
Sure. So you guys gonna
sorry,
move the
did
carts
anyone
yourselves?
else want to chime in? Or?
No. Back to the watch house, I reckon.
I've got Mohawk, you've got Redbeard, that leaves Gabriel and Rosefina, and some carts that need to be cleared.
Yeah, I don't know how to clear carts on my own. I'm a tiny humanoid creature.
Rosefina, take hold of Mr. Mohawk here, and I hand over Mr. Mohawk to Rosefina, and I move over to the first cart, and I try and lift it and start shimmying out of the way.
Sure. Give me a perception check before you do.
Alright then. Where's me? There it is. I have got a 10.
Okay. And then give me a strength check to move. Try and move one of these carts.
Alright. And I've rolled a 2.
You are a strong lad, but not as strong as a horse. Unfortunately, and as these are horse-drawn carriages, you do find it a little difficult to budge. As you heave against it with all your strength and don't really get anywhere, you look up to see two traders jump down from their cart and call out, "Here, we'll give you a hand. We need to get through sooner rather than later, so let's get this mess cleaned up."
Thank you, sir. I much appreciate it. I try and assist him as best I can to get this out of the way.
I turn to Hadrig and I'm like, "Shall we get these guys back to the station?"
Yes, let's get them back now.
Yep, so you guys going to start heading back to the station then?
Yep. Hand in hand.
Oh my god.
Just swing him a hand.
Skipping joyfully.
I'm going to make
I
sure
have
that
a new friend.
Just my new friend.
I'm going to make sure that the street is cleared, before I head back, so I'll probably be back a little bit after them.
Cool. Give us another strength check, Klaus, but this time do it with advantage as you're getting some assistance from some concerned citizens.
That's a 1.
Oh my god.
2.
No.
And that's 13 for my second roll. Yep.
Between the three of you, you manage to move the first cart out of the way. As it hits the curb on the side of the road, it shudders pretty violently and one of the wheels falls off. You take a look and it appears that the bolts have been pulled out of the wheels.
Huh.
Specifically so that they would fall off. Hadric, you're kind of rounding the corner as this happens. And the gnome you've got handcuffed to you says, "Oh, oops, sorry, I was doing a bit of maintenance there. Anyway, enjoy."
I just sigh, man. I'm just like, oh. Alright, let's go.
Let's go.
It's the wagon's now slanted with only one wheel, but it is far enough out of the way that it is kind of out of the road.
Enough for traffic to get through.
Enough for traffic to move through at a slowed rate. At about this time, Sergeant Chaplin comes down the stairs with his crossbow propped on his shoulder. He says, "Right, that'll do for now. We'll let the rest of these folk clear the road more if they want to get more traffic through. It's amazing what people will do when they've got a financial incentive."
Alright, yes sir. And
My job is done.
and I'm going to head back to the watch.
Yep. So the sergeant keeps pace with the two of you as you sort of catch up to Rosie and Hadric with their charges. That was good work. I'm impressed. I was worried things were going to boil over there for a moment, so that's when I stepped in, but you were doing a pretty fine job up until then.
There's a light amount of bubbling.
There was. I don't think you particularly helped on that front, Rosie.
Well, you know me, sir. You know how gnomes be.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. I go to salute him with my manacled hand.
Lift the poor guy off the ground.
That goes with just forgetting that I have a gnome chained up to me. I'm just like, sir.
Pull his arm out of his socket.
Trying to dislocate my shoulder.
Oh, sorry, I didn't swap hands, sir. Thank you for the kind words, sir.
Lifts him off the ground via the manacle.
Yeah. I knew I was going to get roughed up. Before long, the five of you and the two of your arrestees make it back to the watch house. Corporal Arnold is at the desk when you arrive, and as you come in, she jumps out from behind. "Oh, thank goodness! I was so worried that you were going to get hurt. I heard the ruckus from all the way down here. Is everyone okay?"
Yes, we're all right.
Physically,
Absolutely.
we're fine.
Yes, it wasn't as bad as last encounter for sure.
I'm a bit cold.
Oh, I'll pop the kettle on, shall I?
Oh, that'd be lovely. Thank you.
She moves away to the kitchenette in the back room there somewhere. Sergeant says, "Right, pop him in one of the interrogation rooms."
Alrighty.
Yes, sir. Yep.
I move the gentleman that I'm leading and I take him over to the interrogation room on the left.
Cool. I turn to our gnome friend chained to me, and I'm like, "Alright, if you'd just like to follow me, we'll get into the interrogation room, and I'll get these manacles off both of us."
Are you leading him into the same room as Rosie's?
I'll lead him into a separate room.
Yep.
Into the other one, yeah.
No worries. So you head into the right-hand room.
Yeah.
And quickly...
As we're walking towards it, I just quickly shout over my shoulder. It's like, because Hadric said, "If you'll follow me," and I'm just like, I don't think he has much of a choice.
Nice, Rosie. Leave me alone. It's my first arrest.
Once you've got them in the rooms, you can easily transfer them to the manacles attached to the tables.
I choose not to manacle him to the table.
Okay.
I just take him off.
Yep. You take him off. He rubs his wrist and his shoulder. Says, "Right. So, what now?"
Well, if you'll take a seat, we'll begin the interview.
I mean,
Yeah, no, I don't want to say interrogation. I guess let's have a chat. Sit in the chair. Let's talk.
He sits in the chair and props his elbows on the table. Rosie, how are you handling your?
I take my gentleman. I do the same thing that Hadric does. I choose not to re-manacle him to the table.
Okay.
But I pull out I pull out a notebook that I have to assume that I have because I'm an investigator at heart.
Yeah, sure.
And I just sit down and I just start asking questions. So I'm just like, "What's your name?"
Does it matter? Am I still going to be alive come nightfall? You should be ashamed of yourself, working for the crown.
I have my reasons to work for the crown. And while I understand you have your reasons to not like them, that doesn't change the fact that I've asked for your name.
Oof, got him. Absolutely got him.
Kurt.
Is that with a C or a K?
Kye.
And does Kurt have a last name?
Kurt does have a last name.
And what is your surname,
I just
sir?
gesture on with my hand.
Kuba with a K.
So K-U-U-B-E-R.
Well done.
And, Kurt, where do you live, Kurt?
In the burrows, obviously.
On the north side of the river or the south side?
South. You know what they say? Act local, right? Change starts at home, something like that.
I mean, is that not why we choose to do what we do?
That's why I choose to do what I do. I don't know about you.
Why I choose to do what I do? How about you?
destroyed.
Hadric,
God.
the red-bearded ringleader that you brought in, takes his seat, rests his hand on his elbow. Well, boss, what's the plan?
Well,
What do you want to talk about?
Let's start off with introducing ourselves. Hello, I'm Hadric. I am an officer here, and I hold out my hand to shake his. Who be you?
He reaches out and shakes your hand, but you get a vibe that it's kind of sarcastically. Tremon Bebena is the name.
Can you spell that for me?
What, you think just because I'm a gnome I can't spell? Traminbebena. Tremon Bebena.
I hope you got that, Reese.
I have something close enough. Okay. So, Tremon, what were you doing today? What was the dealio? What's the hip haps?
Well, we took some carts, we blocked the road to the port, caused a bit of a traffic jam, cost a few rich merchants a few coins. Nothing too drastic, I'd say. You can just write that down as exercising our right to protest.
Sure. You also did you also did strike a police officer.
Oh, what a bloody legend.
Yeah, right.
Bigger guns.
I think that you guys were the aggressors in that situation. Self-defense.
Alright, look.
Oh my god.
We were outnumbered. There was a lot of angry-looking humans in that crowd. We were just trying to defend ourselves.
I mean, look, if you look at it from our perspective, we were trying to get you out of there because there were a lot of angry humans in that crowd. It also wasn't just humans. There's a lot of different, a lot of us that live here.
Adrian's starting to get offended that he's left out of all these race talks.
Not at all. Come on now. So yeah, look, I want to try and understand why,
Well, I mean, seems a pretty good opportunity if you ask me. The old king's dead, the princess hasn't been coronated. It's as good a time as any for a regime change, don't you think?
I mean, that's fair.
I mean, what's the princess ever done to run this city? Gnomes have been here for thousands of years. We've been here a lot longer than any humans, orcs, he gestures at you, or dwarves, or anyone else in this city. This was gnome territory long before it was anybody else's. Why shouldn't we look after it and run it?
Well, who would you suggest out of the gnomes run it? Do you guys have a leader that you think would be capable?
I mean, it's not exactly how we work. We'd probably have some discussions and come to a conclusion about a person or a group of people to run it. We're not really a monarchistic kind of society.
And do you think that the town is just going to, or the city, sorry, do you think the city is just going to accept such a large change? There's going to be a lot of, you may end up causing more trouble for yourself, and not end up with the ultimate goal of what you want, to be honest, going through such a drastic change.
So what, we should just roll over and accept that this is how things are? Seems we made that mistake a few hundred years ago. I don't think we should make it again.
Not at all. I'm just saying that there is clearer and more peaceful ways to do what you are trying to do. Have you even talked?
Suggestions?
I mean, I'm just an officer, man. I'm on the ground floor. I'm just trying to make sure people's day-to-day lives aren't impacted too much. I'm making changes where I can.
Well, that's.
Do you think I want to put you in a jail? Do you think that makes me happy?
Well, I don't know. You don't seem too glum, but then I guess neither am I. But like you said, we're just trying to make changes where we can. Unfortunately, someone of my stature doesn't really make much of an impact doing things the right way. Sometimes you have to kick up a stink to get the attention that we need.
What right way have you tried? Or what other ways have you tried? Sorry, I guess right is a,
We've had other protests in less disruptive ways, which we simply get jeered at or bullied out of our positions. We've tried getting an audience with the king and now with the princess, but we never hear back. What else can you suggest? Violence isn't something that we want to consider, but what else do we have to try before violence? We have this disruption and making some noise.
Well, and that's what I want to try and avoid, right? Let's once again, I'm on the ground floor. I can't get you an audience with the princess. I've never met her, to be honest. But if we can avoid violence, that'd be great for both sides.
I agree. Rosie,
well, look,
your less talkative Kurt is sitting at the table, just kind of eyeballing you. He's not volunteering any information that you don't try and get from him.
So he's from the southern boroughs.
And I'm in the room with Rosafina.
Yeah, sure.
And Gabrielle is in the room with Hedrig.
Team short!
Yeah, if you're happy, Gabriel. With that.
Team short!
Happy with that, Gabriel?
Again.
Same teams as last time, yeah.
I was just gonna ask how long... Kurt, how long have you been in Rolands Landing?
Born here.
And how long have you known life under the humans?
Well, since I was born here, 125 years. A long time.
He's but a beeb to me.
You let it beat you down, huh? Signed up. took the king's copper, and here we are.
Not
I
quite.
think that's a bit unfair. Everyone has a duty, and this is just one way that Rosafina can help people. I mean, while you might see her as helping the crown, well, she does definitely do good work in both communities for the humans and for the gnomes. And it's good to have her by our sides working in the watch. I myself am just a humble dwarf, but I think you do yourself a disservice, sir, by talking down to such a noble gnome.
Noble gnome.
Oh, I was waiting for it. No
Kind of
fault.
shrugs and leans
Yeah.
back. Says, "Dwarf, human, doesn't really matter. Either way, this isn't your territory to stake claim on."
Sir, but I also was born here in Rolands Landing, just much like yourself. Sure, I do not have the same background or other history that you and your other gnomes have, but I'm sure that my claim is no lesser than yours. And I'm purely here as I wish to help the community, and I wish to help everyone. I didn't want to have to arrest you, but you didn't really leave me with much choice.
Well, I can't really argue with that. You're doing your job, but other gnomes in the city will see what we did. The humans who agree with us will see what we did, and just don't think this is the last kind of act this type you'll see.
I don't expect it would be. It is a logical conclusion that you guys would cause a disruption like this, especially preventing people from going out to sell their wares. It is true. It does seem like I have taken a bit of a dip, taking the queen, kings, whatever you want to call it, copper, but I don't really need the money. I'm just doing this because I'm just trying to make the city a better place. And for you, it means blocking the streets and hoping some middle-aged men can't make money. For me, it's trying to help the gnomes see that there is more to than just being beaten down by the humans. And to me, I think that my way is better.
He shrugs. Well, you let me know how that works out for you.
Well, I got your name, didn't I?
Well, Kirk, there's not much more to go. Kurt, there's not much more to go from here. I believe the protocol is that we'll have to keep you in for the night. But thank you for your time, and thank you for letting us know your thoughts.
Also, no one's gonna kill you.
We're not all big and bad, and we're not all trying to intimidate you either.
He sort of gives a mock salute and then just leans back in his chair. Hadrian, Gabriel.
Did you have anything you want to add, Gabriel?
Sorry, go on, Gabriel.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know if it's such a good idea asking me. Hadrig, you seem to have this one under wraps.
Okay. Look, Tremin. You may not see it at the moment, but there are other people that have other. I want to improve this city, and not just for humans or orcs. I want to improve it for everyone. And I want to work with you guys, as I do want to work with the humans, and I want to work with every person in this community. You may not see us as allies at this point in time, but I hope eventually we can work together and do something. But as for today, you did assault a member of the RLPD. So for that, we're going to have to assign some time. But I want you to know that if there is issues and problems, that we are one of the places that you can come to talk, and we will try and help as best as we can.
Well, that's surprisingly sincere, Hadric. I think you probably got a good head on your shoulders. It's just a shame that you've decided to put it to use in service of the crown. But if I can think of anything you can do for us, I will be sure to let you know.
No worries, Tremon. Me and Gabrielle are gonna step out for a sec, and we'll be back.
Toodaloo.
I feel that we're all done and we step out of our room too at the same time.
Yep. You all leave your interrogation rooms together and standing outside in the room outside together.
And I take this opportunity to read the note that Timmy handed to me.
Timothy's note is scrawled on a piece of parchment that singed on one side. It says, Marin wants you to come by the lab as soon as you can. He thinks it's important. Here's the address, and underneath is an address in Illabar.
What's
Well.
that?
Hey guys.
What's that?
I think we're being summoned. We should check in with the sergeant and see if we can't suss this out.
Are we being summoned, Rosie, or are you being summoned? Ooh!
Look, it doesn't specify come alone, so I suggest you gentlemen come with me.
Certainly. That's
Well, look, let's finish up with these two. Put them in the cell. Klaus, how are you feeling? You got hit pretty hard.
I definitely could be better off, but I'm glad that it didn't escalate any further. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine.
Klaus was happy to take one for the team.
You got
Yeah.
clocked pretty hard on the head.
Yeah.
But I mean, always up for a bit of magic if you've got it. Got it to spare. Are your spells? It's not a cantrip heal, is it?
No, so mine are. This is Reese talking, by the way.
Yeah.
Lay on hands is an ability. It's a class
Yeah.
ability.
Yeah, cool.
I can just hit you with five hit points if that works.
Yeah,
Just-
sounds good.
I put my hand over where'd you get hit?
On my right side, bonked right in the shoulder.
Yep. So I put my hand on your shoulder, and I'm like, I put one hand on the shoulder that was hit. I put my other hand on the other shoulder, and I go, I'm gonna count to 3, 1, 2, and then I'm blast you with healing. Lay on hands, give you 5 hit points, and it's like me just readjusting your shoulder, as if it was dislocated, and I popped it back in. So I'm just
Nice.
like 1, 2.
Nice.
Thank you. I much appreciate it, Hadrig.
No worries.
Nice. You feel the warm glow of Hadrig's magic.
Give me a hug.
Okay, you big lug. Ah!
Well, that was charming. The sergeant is sitting on a chair with his feet kicked up on a desk.
Sir.
Do you get anything of use out of either of them?
We have their
well,
names, sir.
Well, that's a start.
The only thing that we could really ascertain is that it seems like there's going to be a bit of an uprest with the gnome people. This will not be the first instance, and I'm sure it wasn't the first instance anyway. So I'm sure we're going to see a bit more of this in the future, unfortunately. But if we have them locked up, then these two culprits can't stir up too much trouble, at
Yeah.
least.
Not surprising, unfortunately, but that's why we hired the folks like you to help with this kind of thing. Between these sorts of events and Facilla, we got plenty to worry about. Like, lock them in the interrogation rooms for now. We'll get them taken to the prison later on.
Surely they only need to be kept overnight, sir, or for a couple of days.
Well, you're the one that was assaulted.
I don't think they were of bad character. I don't think they're murderers or true blood criminals. I think they're just misguided. I don't think long-term jail sentences really required.
You don't think they could plan up another stunt like this if we let them out on the streets?
I do believe they will, but I don't think that's in our means to lock them away and throw the key away.
Well,
I mean, we could only hope that a small act of leniency or mercy in this case would help sway them against any major acts of disobedience and general societal unrest.
that's pretty optimistic of you, Rosie. Tell you what,
I have to be optimistic, sir.
I'd have to agree with Rosie. So I think that if we are harsh and we show them bitterness, then I don't think that will sway their hearts.
Well, I'll let you plead your case to the captain, but she's indisposed at the moment. It'll have to be tomorrow at this rate. Lock them in those interrogation rooms for now. I'll make sure the corporal drops them off some food later tonight, and I'll let you talk to the captain about their punishment tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
I go back to the interrogation rooms and I just duck my head in to be like, just so you know, you'll be stuck in here overnight. Someone will come and drop off some food for you, but get comfortable. You're not going to jail.
I do the exact same thing. I was gonna be like,
Word for word.
yeah.
You're like,
here,
I had to
brother.
talk to the sergeant, and I got you a little time off. Don't worry, you're not going to jail.
We're gonna let you go.
have to do the-
We're
you
gonna let
have to
you
do
go
the
in time
tongue click.
served.
Yeah. just click at him. Just keep clicking my fingers.
Hey.
They both seem a little surprised that they're not just being hauled off to like the palace dungeons or something. But
Look, we can only hope this will be a positive thing, and Kai's not like, well, yep, they just ended up murdering a bunch of people.
They will.
Walks out the
It'll
door,
come back to
sees
bite
the
us.
nearest old lady, and just robs them
yeah.
in broad daylight.
Same old lady from before.
Yeah.
you're like, all right, see you later. You just watch them run immediately to the house across the road, break in through the window.
Nice.
Oh boy.
Alrighty. Well,
So with that,
Yeah.
you guys lock them in the interrogation rooms.
Sir, we need it for anything else, sir.
Well, the corporal and I can probably take it from here. Have you got plans?
We've got a location to check out, sir. We believe there may be some suspicious activity happening there, and we'd like to investigate.
It's conveniently vague. But I suppose that is your job. If you think there's something that needs looking into, then go ahead. Oh, and given how things went out there today, I think it's time for you to graduate from rookies to constables. So
Yeah.
We got
Before you
promoted!
Gonna get the captain to sign off on you guys being allowed to carry real weapons with you on patrol. So
Oh boy.
if you haven't got one, you can take a short sword from the locker room. They're not in good nick, but they'll do the job. Otherwise, if you've got something else that you want to use, then we're not really in a position to be too worried about protocol. Just please don't kill anyone unless you have to. You have no idea the amount of paperwork required.
I mean, that is the preferred outcome, right? To not kill people?
Generally speaking, yeah.
Yes.
But if it's you or
we-
them, you do what you gotta do.
Make it be them. Got it.
We understand, Sergeant Chaplin. Thank you.
Considering I already have a short sword, would it make more sense for me to go back to my locker and get it?
Yeah, I mean, you can take any of your weapons from your lockers, or in that same locker room would be just standard issue short swords for the watch.
I was gonna be like, so what about me and my halberd and my longsword and my dagger and
Like my walking porcupine of weapons.
I know you guys have an armory, but what about my armory?
Yeah. In one holster, the Billy Club, and in the other holster, I have my Warhammer.
Hell yeah.
Taser gun.
Look, we can do things the easy way or the hard way.
Or the Warhammer way.
With your graduation from rookie to constable also comes your level up from 1 to 2. So congratulations. But we won't do that right this second.
Well, we need to have a long rest for that to happen.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind. But with that, Sergeant Chaplin dismisses you.
All right, Rosie, you lead the way. You're the one in charge of this investigative lead, after all.
All right. Well, we just need to head to Marin's lab, and let me see if I know where it is.
Marin, that kooky scientist folk.
Senor Bourgeois with the bright pink hair.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, great. This can only go well.
Saw that guy drive down the road. He seems like a cool chap.
The address
Yeah.
you've got, Rosie, is on Farrow Lane.
Okay, so we're off to Farrow Lane.
As a native
it,
of the city and of Illabar, you would have a pretty good idea of how to get there.
Yeah, I just lead the way, taking them all the way through the different back alleys and whatnot, and
Yeah.
just generally be like,
So Rosie leads you into an area that's not quite as run down as the boroughs proper that you guys went when you went to Pigeon Street. Still, obviously, a very, very cheap and poor part of the city, but this is where people set up, their shops and stalls and things of that nature. So there's a lot of, dirty butchers' shops with meat hanging out the front, low-end armourers, weapons smiths, alchemy stores, all sorts of different stalls, shops of just about anything you could be after, as long as what you're after is, fairly cheap and low quality. With people's homes above, a lot like the rest of the boroughs, though, people have obviously made homes in alleyways and things like that as well. But before long, Rosie leads you onto a street with a lot of what appear to be workshops. This is where there seems to be a lot of carpentry, metalworking, leatherworking kind of stores, and quickly leads you to the front of the building listed on the address.
I do a sort of
what?
I just knocked on my desk in a pattern.
Oh yeah,
so
no, that didn't.
The mic.
The mic killed all of that.
I do a
So-
sort of silence.
Silence.
So here's the thing. My microphone absolutely did pick it up in Audacity.
Oh yeah.
So Discord didn't. So instead you guys get a ba 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 ba.
I love it.
You knock, and there is no response.
That's odd. We
You
were.
sure this is the right place, Rosie?
Yeah, I'm sure it is. That's odd. We were invited, and I checked the note again. What exactly did it say?
It says that I can't remember exactly how I phrased it now. Thanks for that.
Oh.
The gist.
I'm
the
sorry, I
gist of
assumed
it.
you had a note
Marin-
written down.
Oh, come on, I'm not that prepared. Marin wants you to come by the workshop. He thinks it's important. Please come as soon
Okay.
as possible.
So we've been told to come as soon as possible.
Okay.
I say, pulling the note out of my pocket and putting it away as soon as possible. So
Well-
the fact that
I mean, they did say it's important, and we are police officers. I then turn to the door and attempt to kick it in.
Oh god.
stop, hey Drake. I see his brain working with all two folds that it contains.
Oh, I've been waiting to do that ever since we got promoted.
His leg is already on the way.
Do you stop for Rosie?
Yeah. I just wind up my leg and Rosie's like, stop.
Can I have a look around and see if there's like a window that's ajar?
Can I also just try knocking again, just to be like 100% sure?
Sure, Rosie, as you're knocking again, Klaus, give me either a perception or an investigation check.
Investigation. Diddle-doo-doo. Oh, not bad. 17.
17 is pretty good. Rosie, you knock again. There is no response again.
Okay. I
Klaus,
try opening the door.
You start having a look at the two windows on the front or on the street side of the building. And having a look inside, there is a very dim light coming from inside the grubby windows, but you can't make out much more through the grime. However, you do notice that on the door there appears to be some splintered wood around the handle and the latch, almost as though someone might have tried to force the door.
Well, and these windows are not going to budge. I guess they're fixed because it's...
Yeah, they don't appear to be even possible to open. They're just fixed into the frames and very grubby both inside and out. You give them a bit of a on the outside, but there's just as much grime on the inside.
Yep. All right. Well, there's definitely a light on in the inside, so there's surely someone's in there, and there's a bit of damage on the door and the lock on the other side. So someone's tried to force their way in, but I don't think they're successful since the door is still currently locked. Maybe we should try and go around the side and see if there's anything we can see from the side of the building and get a little bit closer to that light source.
Peeling back the curtain a bit here, have I attempted to turn the door handle yet?
Not yet. You've knocked. Klaus has given his little talk. And then you want to try and just open the door?
I would like to just try and open the door.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the next logical conclusion.
Yeah.
And it's one that too many people skip. You grab the handle, and at first you get the feeling that it's locked because the handle doesn't turn. But as you're sort of turning and pushing, there's a small bit of resistance, and then the door opens despite the fact that the handle didn't actually turn. And you can see that where the latch enters the door frame, the door frame has actually been splintered outwards so that the latch is now not really pushing against anything strongly enough to hold the door shut.
Yeah.
And the door begins to swing open into the dimly lit room.
Well, this is going to be fun. Let's get let's get our detective hats on, boys.
Yeah, I would like to get my billy club out at the ready.
You choose to get off the horse, is what I'm hearing.
Thank God.
And proceed inside slowly and cautiously.
Sure. So, Klaus is the first one through the door, or Rosie, are you entering as you get first dibs since you opened the door?
I was going to do the reckless thing and actually just call out for Timothy. So I was going to... Because he's the one that called
go ahead.
Surely. Timothy?
I mean, you're...
Timmy!
Call into the dim room.
Timmy!
There's a sort of...
Oh, Tim.
There's no echo, there's no reply from inside, nothing. It's just like shouting into a void.
There's
dead.
us. He's dead. He's dead. So it's dimly lit inside.
It is.
Okay. I just
Don't
want to
say
make
it, man.
Yeah, I just want to make it known I have dark vision.
Oh, really?
Really? Through his axe.
Yeah.
Can I see things a bit better than what like a normal person could see in dim light?
Well, buddy,
yes.
Back to the line. I'm the first dark vision person going through this door.
From where
No, you're not! I am! No, it's not dark vision.
Everybody's got
I just
dark
don't
vision.
announce it every time I walk into a dimly lit room!
From where you're standing, it's more a matter of the perspective that you got than the lighting. But from what you can see, there's several crates stacked up to the left and right immediately as you would come through the door. And then there's a small rise to the next floor up and because of the crates and the table in the center of the room above, it's a little bit hard to make out much more of the room than that. You can see a few candles that are burnt quite low, flickering on the table and in a few spots around the room.
Rosie, do you want to lead the way? And we're right behind you.
All right. Hadrig, Gabriel, you guys take the right side of the building. Klaus and I will take the left-hand side, and we'll reconvene here to share what we find.
The outside of being all leader authoritative, huh?
I'm sorry, Gabriel. Would you like to make the orders?
No, by all means, Rosie. After all, you're the one leading this expedition. You heard her, guys. Split up.
Well, Gabriel, do you have dark vision? I don't think so.
It's a good thing his party member does. Isn't that handy?
I shoot a vile glance towards where I think Klaus is standing because I can't see him. For some reason, dark vision qualifies as vision, and anything lesser is blindness.
The four of you enter the room, and as you get a better sense of the space and the crates stacked around, it doesn't take any of you long to notice something very, very wrong. There is a body laying on the far side of the room.
Cool.
And very quickly you decide body is the right term because it is laying in a pool of blood.
Oh no.
Upon closer inspection, it has hot pink hair that you've only seen one person with previously.
I rush to the body.
Does any of us have reanimate the dead?
Oh yeah, no, I got it just as I leveled up. Just
if only we had a long rest. Damn.
I know, what a shame.
Rest.
Yep.
Can I do a medicine check on the body?
Absolutely. What would you like to ascertain with your medicine check?
Is the body is he still alive? Is that
Has Cedric been bodied?
that's an 18. Is the nice man with the pink hair fucking dead?
Unfortunately, yes. This man is. You very quickly are able to be pretty certain that the man is unfortunately dead. When you reach the body and reach out to touch him, he is quite cold to the touch. The pool of blood around him is just starting to get to sort of the sticky, congealed kind of state to say that it's, not fresh, not really fresh anyway, but has been pooling for a little while.
Am I able to tell, roughly what time frame it is, or...?
With an 18, you'd say it's probably in the last few hours.
Okay, guys, be on guard. Whatever killed that man is probably still here.
I mean, I'm just concerned because it feels like it wasn't that long ago that Timmy was handing me this note.
Yeah, what sort of time? Not to say Tim did it, but what's the time difference between the riot and now?
Tim would have given you the note probably a little over an hour ago, Rosie, maybe an hour and a half, in that kind of ballpark.
I don't know if I trust this Timmy figure.
He was the guy that we met with the cart, right? So this is Marion.
Yeah.
He was the assistant to this late Mr. Bourgeois.
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 Kye making up hard names.
Odd that somebody who Hadric thinks has been dead for hours would only have been... his assistant would only have attended the scuffle an hour ago, and no less handed a note rather than hurriedly and forcibly trying to get our attention.
Yeah, it is a bit suspicious, but we might as well have a look around in here and see if we can find anything else.
Knowing Sorry, knowing that Marin is dead, I feel no reason to really investigate the body at this moment in time. I remember that part of the note is burnt, and am I able to find the source of a flame anywhere?
Give me a investigation or a perception as you sort of have a look around the room.
Let's do a perception. That was a bibber roll.
15?
15.
15.
Looking around the room, there are those few sort of stumps of candles that you can see providing the lion's share of the illumination. But on this bench here above, or to the right of the table, you can see that's where there's a pile of scrolls, paper, pens, that kind of thing, that are very similar to the scroll or the scrap of paper that you were handed. And sitting next to those is what at first glance appears to be a lantern, like a glass shuttered lantern. But you have a look at it and something seems a little bit off. Where a lantern would normally have the flickering light of a candle within it, this light seems to be much more steady. It's about the same brightness as a candle, but it doesn't seem to have that flickering glow that you would expect from a candle.
Thomas Edison's been here, see.
Oh, what a bloody legend. Here's some finger guns. Pew, 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 pew,
All right.
pew.
I'm just gonna yell out to the supposedly empty house in the most booming watch voice I can imagine. Come out, we have you surrounded. The watch is taking control of this now. And I'm just gonna sort of wait to see if there's anyone who is willing to surrender from the shadows.
You call out, give it a few seconds, but you hear no movement. No one seems to want to take you up on your offer.
Okay. Well,
I'm
you guys
gonna-
go ahead and investigate. I'm just gonna arm my longbow and just stand ready.
Yeah, Hadrig, do you want to come upstairs with me, or Rosie? Someone want to accompany me upstairs?
Yeah, I can come upstairs.
I'm still investigating the lantern, I think.
Sure.
Because it's witchcraft.
Yeah.
Witchcraft.
Black magic.
Due to us being in such a confined space, I'll pull out my longsword.
Yep. Klaus and Hadrig, you guys begin to move upstairs.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which, let me just juggle my screens here.
It's screen juggling time.
Which leads you into this room.
Oh, hello.
Oh.
Another dimly lit room. There is, again, what appears to be a lantern sitting on a shelf in here. But other than that, most of the light is coming from a grimy window in the wall. There is 2 beds in here. My map only has 1. I apologise for that. But there are two beds sitting in the corner. One sized for a medium creature, one sized for a small. Along with various scattered bits of paperwork, assorted bits of sort of laboratory equipment. Looks a bit of a mess here. A lot of stuff is still in crates. I mean, you guys spoke to this guy yesterday. You assume he's kind of still in the process of moving in almost.
And we're assuming that these are the same crates that we saw yesterday.
Without further inspection, you can't be certain one way or the other, but that's the first thing that would come to mind.
Yep.
Downstairs, Rosie, what are you...
I don't know. I'd like to investigate the body to see if I can figure out how he's bled out into a big puddle on the floor.
Yeah, make me either a medicine or an investigation check.
Either or. Oh boy. Oh lord.
A natural 1.
That's a natural 1. Yep.
Oh,
You lean down to look over the body, but you sort of just get hit with a moment of like nausea. As you get closer, there's just a lot of blood, and you have to like stand in the blood to to investigate the body, and you just have to take a second and you just sort of step back and compose yourself for a minute. Gabriel, you see Rosie lean over the body and then kind of recoil
Start
almost.
retching. Yeah. You alright there, Rosie? Maybe step away from dead body.
Good. I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Would you like me to take a look?
I mean, you can if you want. It's not a big deal.
Alright, stand back.
All right.
I move in. I actually can't control my character, but anyway.
Oh.
I move into the body and take a look at the wounds to assess what might have occurred.
Sure. Yeah, either investigation or medicine.
Well, he probably bled out.
That is your first assessment. This is a lot of blood to not be inside the body. However, you do notice that most of the blood appears to be pooling around his head.
I'm
Seems
not
like
exactly
this blood
sure
came from his.
how this gentleman died, but either he was struck or otherwise discombobulated via the head. I think this was obviously a targeted attack of some kind. I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that this might have been an accident.
Klaus Hadrig, upstairs.
Yep. I would like to just make my way, following the room around from like the left, and just working my way around the room, and give it a thorough investigation and have a look and see what I can find.
Sure, give us a perception check. Or an
Perception
investigation.
or yeah.
Your call. Hadrig?
Probably
17.
Probably doing the same, but I'll be sort of investigating down the end here, and doesn't make sense for me to follow him around the room, to be honest.
No worries.
Hey, Hadri, come hold my hand.
You can do the same for us, Hadrig, either perception or investigation.
That's a 9.
The thing that grabs your attention immediately is the odd lantern sitting in the corner of the room. After looking at it for a moment, you come to the same conclusion as Rosie, that there's something a bit strange about it. There's no flickering as you would expect from a candle or an oil flame inside. Other than that, there's nothing that really grabs your eye. There's a lot of crates, some open, some not. Most of the ones that you glance into are either half emptied or still half full of packing material like straw, and most seem to contain the same sorts of copper tubing, chunks of metal and glassware that you saw downstairs and when you searched through this guy's cart yesterday. But there are the odd personal effects, clothing, those kinds of things. Klaus, as you move around the top half of the room, most of the paperwork that you're looking at doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to you. There's lots of talks about capturing lightning, which sounds ridiculous, and exerting energy. You're not really sure. What does catch your eye, though, is in the smaller of the two beds, there seems to be a lump underneath the blanket. Not a large lump, only about the size of, a fist, maybe.
All right. Let's pull the sheet back and see what this lump is.
Yep, you whip the sheet back, and towards the foot of the smaller bed is a leather pouch with the drawstring pulled closed.
Alrighty. And what is inside the pouch?
You pick it up, and immediately the friendly jingle of coins greets you. Opening it up, you see that it's pretty full of some pretty large coins, and as you tip them out in your hand in the light, you notice that they're not impressed with the face of King Roland I, as you would expect. These odd-looking coins.
Are they Facilin coins?
Make me a... What's a good wisdom? Wisdom or an intelligence-y kind of check here.
You could do intelligence. I'm looking at it here, because one thing they have...
smarts? Does he need book smarts, or does he need street smarts?
History?
Insight's probably a good one, or history. Yeah, either of those I'd be happy with.
Yeah, history. 6.
6.
That nearly landed on 19 on my screen.
It almost did.
Yeah, it was.
You're not 100% sure, but you feel pretty confident saying these are foreign coins.
Hadrig, can you make out what these coins are? I think they're Facilian. They're definitely not from Rolands Landing, but I can't make it out.
16.
16.
History check.
Yes, they have the Facilian coat of arms on them. These are definitely Facilian coins.
Crap.
I go, they're Facilian coins. Pause. Fuck.
Well, we better hold on to them and show the captain and see what they have to say. Maybe we should have a look and see if we can find anything else that would point towards this man being Facilian himself.
I think given where the time is at, we might, on that bombshell, of finding the Facilian coins, wrap up this chunk of gameplay and head back to the table talk
Another
and discuss
cliffhanger.
the implications.
The deception. The disgrace.
Deception.
I want to give him. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and assume that it's because he does trade and he's an inventor that he has done trade with Facilians. But obviously, having Facilian coins is also a bit sus in Rolands Landing, especially when we're at war with the nation of Sicilia.
It's also the fact that you found them
Technically
in
at war,
the
but
you
Yeah,
found them in the
seems to be.
smaller bed and not the bigger bed.
Yeah, funny that it should be
And-
in the smaller bed.
And
Good
Tim
point.
and Tim's a gnome, right?
Tim isn't.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
either Tim was hiding this cash and now is nowhere to be seen and is a bit suspicious, or Tim
Then
was
why?
out of the place.
I'm just gonna nip this one in the bud. Why would he tell us to come to the lab if he was the one that killed or had the professor murdered?
I'm gonna
correction.
Sorry, go
Sorry.
on.
I was going to say correction. Why would he tell you to come to the lab? He gave you the note.
True.
Interesting.
And aren't we glad I decided to include you guys?
Just rock up. There's a dead body.
I'm going to just quickly go
this
through
could be fun.
chat and a few notifications that we missed. Thank you all for your patience while we were in our gameplay hour. We had Battle of Basil twice now has thrown some biddies out for some cute emotes, so thank you for that. Dutch Dungeons followed. So thank you very much, Dutch Dungeons. Welcome on in. Hope you've been enjoying the show. And so did Concilla du Lasur. I'm pronounced. Hang on. Concilla de Lasur.
That sounds.
Please correct my pronunciation.
Concilio
they,
del Sur.
They followed as soon as I said, "Hey Kai, can you just give us easier names? Why would you give us such difficult names for characters?" And then they followed. I was like, "Oh boy,
And
nice, well played."
Concilio de Lasur said, "Gracias, thanks, love from Argentina." So thank you very much. That's so cool, Argentina. Welcome on in. We are from Western Australia, hence Nerds of the West. We missed Choco Crazy Yandere doing a Scott Pilgrim out the window and then back in.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow,
so
what a bloody
I
legend.
realized some of you guys
Finger
didn't
guns.
get that reference.
Upside Down Fairy, welcome on in. Didn't see you pop in. It's late to the party, that's okay. You missed out on a wee little combat where they nipped a riot in the bud and now they've stumbled across a dead body. As you do.
The Gilded Lich has returned.
Super
Also,
Sorcerer,
not
perhaps some of
acid
these gnomes
being
take
used.
sides with the enemy, and that is why there are enemy coins. That is a very interesting theory there. Gilded Lich has returned and is watching. Gilded Lich, it happened today. They had combat.
got us.
They were surprised. They were disadvantaged. They heard the echoing laugh of a lich in the background as they did so. So thank you very much. The VOD for this one should be up next week, so if you want to check out their cursed punishment, it will be up soon. And it definitely hit them a little hard. Lachlan more hard than anybody, who got bonked pretty brutally.
I was
When he
I was
wasn't
like
expecting
one
it.
hit. I was one hit away from dying.
And then thanks to Biohazard Binky for following.
Biohazard
Literally
Binky,
since then.
Thank you very much. I hope you guys have been enjoying the show. It's been a lot of fun running it. I hope you guys have been having fun playing.
Very much so.
it's shocking.
Hell yeah.
Shocking.
I'm enjoying the fact that we walked into this room not because we found a dead body, but because we found a dead body and there wasn't any combat. So it was welcome to Investigation Town, as opposed to just being like,
Time to do
it's
some
combat time,
detectoring.
round 2. And also that bombshell of finding those coins.
Yeah.
Facility?
A very
Interesting.
open-ended question. So yeah, I like Super Sorcerer's sort of theory. Perhaps they are doing deals with the Facilians, which could be bad for us, or maybe the Facilians are trying to infiltrate the gnomes to cause internal unrest.
Yeah,
to
like
cause
instability.
conflict.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what the link between Vasilla and Marin is.
Do we need to get you guys like a corkboard, like a string, like crazy conspiracy board?
Yeah.
We could do that. I could create a Roll20 page where everyone's got access to draw, and you guys can just draw your crazy conspiracy theories on the board and see what everyone comes up with.
We all just look like Charlie Day, like just
Should just all get our own corkboard, and then we can just all. It's like, let's see how this compares.
Everyone
to this
set
other
up a
person's.
physical corkboard behind you, behind your cameras there.
Yeah.
Like Judge,
with
I'll
our
find
own
the results of
theory.
grim work another time then. For now, I watch and formulate my next. Very exciting. Thank you again, Gilded Lich. As I say, the VOD for last week, that is session 3, rather, should be up tomorrow. And then, because I think I've worked out the audio problem and it won't require quite as much work to get them ready for YouTube, tonight's, which is episode 4, I'm going to try and get up on Thursday, so that if you would like to be fully up to date before the stream on Friday, you can check out the previous weeks on Thursday. I hope that made sense. Right this second, you can watch sessions 1 and 2 over on YouTube or Nerds of the West. Tomorrow you'll be able to watch session 3. Thursday you'll be able to watch today's session 4, and then you can be 100% up to date for session 5 on Friday.
Yeah. And now to throw you for a loop, that's all West Australian times. So good luck, everyone.
Yeah, suckers.
The most popular time in the world.
Yeah.
plus 8 on the clock.
Yep.
Hong
That's
Kong
it.
GMT plus
and Tokyo.
So
Yeah, plus 8 on the rocket clock.
Wait,
Shout
we're
out
in
to
the
my
same
where
time
my play
zone.
school fans at, huh?
look,
The
I'm only
rocket
giving
clock.
I'm only giving days. I'm not saying what time during the day. All right.
Hi, I don't mean to alarm you, but it's not necessarily the same day everywhere in the world.
What are you talking about, Beck? The clouds over my house. It's raining. It must be raining everywhere.
It's raining at my house, so it must be raining.
Oh god.
It's Friday in my house. It must be Friday everywhere.
I'll also give a shout out just to our other content. We have a YouTube channel which has we've been doing Nerds of the West for almost 5 years now. So we have lots of different board game and variety content, and we also stream at least 3 times a week, 2-3 times a week. So we have a bunch of different streams. So if you enjoy that, go to our YouTube, subscribe there, follow here, get all that content. It's content. You love it. You love it.
Hours
Watch
and hours of
all our stuff.
content.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just leave our videos playing with ads on.
Shameless.
Just hit the thumbs up button as well, because that's what makes the video play. You see, it won't play until you hit the thumbs up button.
Yeah. You also need to donate $100.
This is
just to get the videos to
deceptive
play.
marketing right here.
What is going on?
Look, there is
Oh boy,
heaps
who
of
let
content.
Reese do this?
I know. There's heaps of content there. Pick and choose what you like. There's role-playing games over there. There's board games. There's video games. There's Magic the Gathering. You won't see me in many of those because that's not my There is one pretty good one with me in there where I get very,
It is a
very
fantastic
angry
one.
towards the end. Which
I'm
was
sorry,
our
Kai.
Commander draft. What was the name of that one? You'd know better.
It was the
Yeah, it's
Commander Legends draft.
Commander
Yeah.
Legends
Draft.
draft. If you want to see me get really angry at Chris and Reese and Magic and Wizards of the Coast and the world, I think that's the most animated I've gotten on stream. So the Commander Legends draft.
That was a treasure that day.
Is a good one.
Oh,
The day started really well when I pulled that like super rare card,
Yeah.
and then it was all
Guild
downhill
Lotus.
from there.
Yeah.
Well, you'd like to know, Kai, that the next stream that we have in the studio will be a Magic stream to welcome us back.
Provided
the
nobody
plan.
catches COVID.
Again.
Yes. We were meant to be back in the studio tomorrow for our first stream back in a while, playing some June. And everything has just been pushed back week after week after week with different technical issues.
Everyone's
and,
getting COVID.
COVID and
I think
such
we should all just
in
get it at
WA.
once, so that rather than this one person gets it, then the following week the next person gets it, and then the following week the
COVID
next
party.
person gets it.
Like the
It's,
chicken pox, right? You just
It is making things.
rub your kid on each other.
Everybody-
Don't go rubbing your kid on me, alright? That's.
I will if you have
Come
chicken
around.
pox.
Everyone come round. I got plenty of chicken pox to spare.
Oh yeah. So yes, the following week on the 11th, we should be back. We should be back. Thanks, Tom, for that comment. I mean, it didn't come out as smoothly as it should have, but you know what? The point came across. Fingers crossed we are back on the 11th, and we'll be playing some Magic. Not me, because I'm like Kai, and I avoid it. Because I'm afraid that I'll be addicted
Cardboard
and
crack.
get back on the Magic train.
Yeah.
And I can't allow that.
I've got hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars of Magic cards sitting here gathering dust that I've been meaning to just give to Chris for yonks now. So,
Yeah, give me your thousands of dollars.
better than it gathering dust. So,
But that also reminds me, I do need to put a pre-order in for the box this week for the
You
Magic.
do, yes.
is that a new set coming out on the 11th? Is it?
Yes, so it's
Yeah.
actually
D&D.
very fitting. It's a D&D themed Magic set that is also a Commander's Legend draft set. So, so it's
that a
Baldur's Gate or like Battle for Baldur's
Yeah.
Gate.
Isn't that a neat little
Little tie-in.
segue there?
Yeah. So yeah, next Friday we will have our D&D session, and then next Saturday we will be doing Commander Legends Battles for Baldur's Gate in the studio.
Nice.
So,
So make a note.
Oh yeah.
Make sure that you are following if that sounds interesting, and make sure you got those notifications turned on so you can get a little ding-a-ling when the guys are in the studio playing some D&D Magic.
Bye, dangling.
I mean, I'm very keen to see everyone back in the studio.
Oh, I missed the
it's
studio
gonna
so
be-
much.
It's been a
So
while.
much.
It's been a hot minute.
Me and
so
Tom
ex-
went in there
I was
the
so
other day,
excited.
and I was so excited, and we filmed some stuff, we took some photos, and then the next morning Tom's like, "I have COVID," and I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
we were so close,
Yep.
And you know what? That means you're next, Reese.
bro. It's happening. It's getting
Because-
closer."
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's
I
just
mean-
the way things are at the moment. We got to play it safe. So
I mean, you guys think that Reese has an impending sense of doom.
Oh, you live with Tom.
Yeah, true.
yeah, he was
Yeah.
sitting. He
Probably
was
worse.
sitting in that chair. I think
I
he
mean-
licked your microphone too.
Yeah, we saw him.
I'm legit. I'm just like, I need to get this as soon as possible so I don't have like this like overlap time of Tom getting sick and then me getting sick, because I just need to get it over and done with. I just
What a
out of
thing
the
to
way.
wish.
It's pretty brutal. It's definitely doing the rounds. Most of my family's had it at this point, but my wife and I have dodged it, and she works at the hospital, so I'm pretty surprised that we have been so late on the.
I was so sure I wasn't gonna get it. I was so sure, and then Tom fucking got it. Like my dad, like I live with my dad, and my dad got it, and like he got towards the end of it. So Thursday was his last day of quarantine. He turned up a negative rat test on Thursday, and wouldn't you know it, that's when Tom was like, "Oh, here's my positive rat test."
Yeah.
Oh no.
So I was sitting there on Thursday and I was like, I'm never gonna get COVID. Like, if I can't even get it when it's in my own house, I'm never gonna get it. Like, this is it. I'm making it.
Right.
just be one of those people who
Tomorrow,
never get
Beck's
it.
like, I'm positive.
She is a positive person.
In so many different ways.
What is queued up for the week? What have we got? What's going on? What is happening? What's the plans?
Well, tomorrow the studio plans will have been scrapped, so that's not a thing. I don't know if anyone's planning on jumping online for any streams. I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth. I suppose that's something we can work out between now and then.
I think we are giving it a miss
hanging
this
out with
week.
the fam
And
if anyone's interested in what I'm actually doing.
word on the street is
Can I
we
come
are
hang
giving
out
it a
with
miss
you,
this
Reese?
Saturday.
No.
Well, it's just because I was supposed to be hanging out with my family. I was gonna go to the zoo.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
can't do that with all the
Aw.
monkeypox hanging around.
Oof.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be Tom YOLO stream. Hi guys, welcome to my stream.
I mean, I feel sorry for Kai because Tom's the one that's just like occasionally coughed throughout the stream.
Oh well.
Look,
I coughed a few times.
Look, it can't be worse than Lachlan's Darth Vader breathing into the microphone that I have to edit out meticulously.
Hey, look, we fixed that. Surely
I don't know,
that's
I
gone
I
now.
haven't listened to it since you put the pop filter on, to be honest. So.
Cool. Surely it's fixed now. And most of the time, I mean, you'll have to let me know because I'm looking at my second monitor, which is where my webcam is, because it's an off center. It's not like straight on. And so I'm talking, and the microphone is off to my right hand side. So I'm not sure. Hopefully, it still comes through nice and clear, even though I'm not talking directly into it most of the time.
Yeah. I'm just having a look here for someone to raid. Send you lovely people over to. Any suggestions from you guys, or should I just have a look and see who else is playing some D&D for you D&D fiends?
I mean,
No,
Wizards of the West
but,
is playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, I love those guys.
we'll start another 4 hours.
Almost as good as
Raid
Geeks of the
ourselves.
East.
Yeah, Jerdman is playing Sniper Elite, but unless there's someone playing board games or D&D elsewhere.
Nah, none of my people are playing it. Though, I will say we'll quickly run through the schedule for the week as well.
Yes.
Yep.
So, Tuesday is going to be our next stream, I believe, and that will be Beck playing more Subnautica.
That's the plan. More Subnautica.
Yep. And then
Nice.
on Wednesday, it will be me and Beck playing Stardew Valley, which we need to have a chat and set up a plan. And then Thursday will be me, where we will try and finish off Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, because I am officially over that game and I want it to be done.
No.
And then and then we're back here Friday for more D&D. So that is the plan as it stands.
Nice. Well, looks like we've got LOL Gamers 89 is playing D&D, and they've got some cool like semi 3D setup. It looks like. I don't know. I'm interested to have a look at that, and it's a charity stream, so that's good. We're gonna go raid over there, so jump in and give them the finger guns. Thank you all so much for hanging out in chat. Thanks for the follows and the biddies and the love. Thanks for spending your afternoon with us. The fact that you guys spend your time with us and want to see what we're doing is very humbling and makes all the time spent prepping and playing and all that very, very worthwhile. So thank you again. We love you. We appreciate you. Can't wait to see you back here for session 5 next week. Find out what's going on with this body, what's going on with these foreign coins, what is happening in the city. Things are
These
getting
cliffhangers.
dark.
Oh
Dun, dun,
no.
dun. So once again, thank you especially to all the new folks in chat. We look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. We are going to start this raid over to LOL Gamers 89. So if you've got the finger guns or the cacti, give them those in chat. Tell them we sent you, and we will catch you guys next time. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
See you later.
I don't think we introduced ourselves at all the whole time.
Not at all.